How about a refill, Luke?
No, thanks, Bill. If I'm going to get there, I better be on my way.
Well, I don't envy you none. You and that old horse have been together for a lot of years.
Yeah, I'm going to miss Dolly. You're a right good old mare. When they get to be that age, there's just nothing left to do but to have them put away.
I guess.
I'm going to walk her over to Wes's place, and he's going to lend me his trailer. Poor Dolly.
Thanks a lot. I should be able to get a lift the rest of the way from here. Well, hey there, girl. Ain't you a pretty one, though? Say, I know what you like. You just stand right here, and I'll be right back.
Afternoon. Cup of coffee?
Yes, sir. I think I'll have a cup, but if you don't mind, I think I'll take the sugar first.
Looks like Dolly found a friend her last day around.
There you go. Now, that ought to hold you to your next bag of oats.
Thanks. See you, Luke. Well, here's your coffee.
Oh, thank you. And by the way, that sugar I took, I hope you don't mind that I gave it to that horse outside.
Oh, you mean old Dolly?
Dolly?
Yeah, that's her name.
Well, it sure suits her, 'cause she's one of the sweetest, friendliest horses I ever met. She reminds me of Maybelle, an old horse I used to ride on my Uncle Clarence's farm back home.
Yeah, too bad about Dolly. On her way to the glue factory, you know.
Glue factory?
Yeah, he's having her put away.
You mean that feller that was just in here? He's taking her to have her put away?
It's a shame, I know, but she's getting on.
Mister! Hey, mister! Pardon me, sir, but could I ask you something about your horse?
Yeah?
Is it true you're taking her somewhere to have her put away?
Afraid so. We're heading there now.
Well, why on earth would you want to do a thing like that? She's not sick, is she? I mean, there's nothing wrong with her.
No, nothing but a bad case of old age. She's just wore out, ain't you, gal? Can't do a lick of work no more, and I can't afford to keep her.
But a sweet old horse like this, surely there must be somebody that'll give her a home.
Afraid not. There aren't too many retirement homes for old nags. No, I guess there's just one place for old Dolly. Come on, gal, let's get her behind us.
Well, wait a minute. What if somebody wanted to buy her?
Dolly? Who'd want to buy an old nag like her?
Well, I might.
Why, you're in the Marines. What would you be doing with a horse?
Well, that's something I'd have to figure out, but no need for you to worry.
Well, I don't know, son.
Listen, I've got $10 on me. If that's not enough, I can give you some more the first of the month.
Okay. If you want her that bad, you can have her. I just hope you know what you're doing.
Hey, Lester. Huh? Come outside a minute. Do it. Nobody'd ever know that there was a horse in there.
Yes, that's a pretty good job, all right. But, Pyle, tell me one thing. How long do you think she can stay here without being discovered?
Well, it's just till I find a place for her. I'm sorry, Lester, I just had to. I couldn't stand to see him take the poor old thing off to be destroyed. Besides, she reminds me of Maybelle.
Well, let's just hope you can find a stable for her before anyone finds her. Come on, we better get back to the barracks.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for helping me, Lester. It's a relief to know for at least the time being that she's out of sight and won't be noticed. Say, if any of you fellers don't want your apple, I'd be glad to take it off your hands for you. Joey, do you want your apple?
How come you want extra apples?
Oh, well, I want to get them for between meal snacks. You see, I've been feeling tired and listless lately, and that can mean only one thing, that my body's low on iron, and there ain't no better way to get you iron than eating apples.
Okay, you can have mine.
Thank you, Joey.
Any of you guys want to give your apple to Pyle? He's got tired blood.
You can have mine, Pyle.
Thank you, Lester. Anybody else want to give me their apple? Oh, gee, thank you. All I can get here. Thank you. Oh, any apples over here? Be glad to take them off the tin right in the bag here. Thank you. Apple?
Okay, Nelson, let's get this sack tightened up for a second. I thought you were still in it. Not bad, Hummel, not bad. But them socks could be rolled a shade tighter.
Yes, Sergeant. I'll get on it right away.
Sergeant Carter, before you inspect me, I think there's something I better tell you.
What's the matter, Pyle? You got some excuse about something?
Oh, no, Sergeant, it's not that.
Well, that's why we always pull these surprise inspections. Just so we can catch slackers.
I'm sorry, Sergeant. This is what I tried to tell you.
Don't try to tell me anything. You've been hoarding food, saving up for them midnight snacks. You're nothing but a big chow hound, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
He has an iron deficiency, Sergeant.
I don't think the sergeant wants to hear about that.
You're darn right I don't want to hear about it. You're through stuffing yourself, Pyle. Get rid of them apples. From now on, you're down to 3 meals a day, just like the rest of us.
Yes, Sergeant. No more apples.
Come on, Boyle. I've had enough of this barracks. Well, pick 'em up, pick 'em up.
Hey, Sergeant Carter, Corporal Ball.
Did you notice the roll Pyle's getting around his middle? He's nothing but a big pile of fat.
Now that you mention it, he is putting on weight. Must be those apples.
Yeah, well, he ain't the only one. The whole platoon's getting soft. I think I better double up on PT.
Yeah, I think so, Sarge.
That's it, Dolly. Chew 'em up real good. There ain't nothing worse than gobbling your oats. Now, that's all I've got. That's all I've got on me. Right there. Remember now, you stay right here. Whatever you do, don't you move from this spot.
$29, $30, $31, $32.
This is a strange time to be doing this, Sarge.
It never hurts to get a little extra. We could all use it, Boyle.
What's the matter, Sarge?
I just thought I saw Dombrowski looking in the window. You know, horse-faced Dombrowski.
Dombrowski?
Yeah, that character over in Quartermaster. Well, what'd he be looking in our window for?
Huh? There's nobody there, Sarge.
Well, he was just there.
Well, it couldn't have been Dombrowski. He's on leave.
Well, if it ain't him, there's somebody else on this base that looks an awful lot like a horse.
Look, Sarge, maybe you better forget about the exercising and get some sleep, huh? You've been pushing it pretty hard.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's hit the sack. You know, it's funny how some people look like horses and dogs. You know what you always look like to me, Boyle? A giraffe.
A giraffe?
What do I look like to you? Never mind.
Pyle, aren't you coming to bed?
I'm worried, Lester. I'm worried that somebody's going to discover Dolly.
Well, you've been pretty lucky so far.
I know, but, well, I hadn't had a chance to go find her a place to stay, and I'm just worried about how long my luck's going to hold out.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it right now. So let's get some sleep.
I'll try, but something tells me this is going to be a restless night. I bet I don't sleep a wink.
Pyle.
Shazam! It's Dolly! Oh, my goodness.
What's so funny, Boyle?
What's that, Sarge?
I thought that was you. That's a whinny, like from a horse.
It sure is.
Could some joker be watching a Western on television this time of night?
Impossible. The rec room closes at 10. Hey, Sarge, that sounded real.
That horse face in the window. That wasn't Dombrowski's horse face. That was a horse's horse face. Come on.
Hey, Sergeant Carter. I guess you'd like an explanation. Sergeant?
No, wait. First, I want to make sure this isn't some kind of nightmare. I want to be sure we're all awake. You're Pyle, you're Boyle, and this is a horse.
Sergeant?
Pyle, I thought I'd seen everything. You sneaked a kid on the base, a girl, a dog, a cat, a skunk. But a horse? A horse?
I can explain everything, Sergeant. Honest, I can.
Do that, Pyle, because I'm just dying to know what a big old white horse is doing on a Marine base in the middle of the night. Aren't you just dying to know what a big old white horse is doing on a Marine base in the middle of the night? Tell us, Pyle, what's a big old white horse doing on a Marine base in the middle of the night?
Well, she was on her way to the glue factory, you know, to be put away.
Yeah.
Well, I just couldn't stand the thought of them doing that, so, well, I bought her.
Oh. Well, that explains everything. Come on, Boyle. Yes?
Sergeant, then is it all right if the horse stays around? Temporarily, I mean?
Oh, no, Pyle. I thought that was understood. You ought to get rid of this horse right away. Immediately, now. You ought to get this horse off this base immediately, now. Now, you listen to me, you blockhead. Now, you get this horse off this base. Once and for all, off this base. Is that clear?
Sergeant, can't we wait until morning at least?
Pyle, get your shirt on and get her out of here.
Well, yes, Sergeant. Well, you'll have to hold on to Dolly so she don't run off.
This whole thing is ridiculous, Boyle. Here I am in the middle of the night, standing out here in my underwear, holding on to a horse. How do these things happen to me? How? Now, the training schedule for today will be as follows. Right after morning chow, we will go out to the obstacle course. After that, there will be small arms practice, followed by... followed by judo practice, and after that... All right, 2, 3, hut! Dismissed! All except you, Pyle. Okay, Pyle. I think you know what I heard, and I'm giving you just 2 seconds to convince me that what I heard I didn't really hear.
No, Sergeant. I'm afraid you heard right. It was Dolly.
Pyle, I thought I told you to get her off the base.
Well, it was the middle of the night, Sergeant. That's what I was trying to tell you. See, it's going to take time to find a stable.
All right. Let's go back to the beginning. Just who did you buy this stupid horse from in the first place?
From a farmer, and she ain't stupid.
Okay. This farmer you bought her from, take her back.
But, Sergeant, he was taking her to have her put away.
I know that, Pyle. Take her back.
But, Sergeant...
Back, Pyle, back, and that's an order.
Sergeant, just think for a minute. Is this something that we want on our conscience?
Our conscience? What are you talking about, Pyle?
Putting Dolly away. Don't you see, Sergeant? It's something we'd have on our conscience the rest of our lives.
What do you mean we, Pyle? How did it become we? You're the one that brought that stupid nag here in the first place. And if you can't get rid of her, I will. Now, where is she?
She ain't really stupid, Sergeant.
Where is she?
Well, I've got her tied up behind the water tower.
Okay, come on. We're going to the motor pool to get a truck. We'll get rid of that horse once and for all.
Do I have to, Sergeant? Do I have to?
You have to, yeah.
Hey, Sarge! I've been looking for you. I've been over at headquarters.
They heard the whinny, right? The colonel heard the whinny.
Oh, an ordnance team from back east is on the base, and the colonel wants you to take the men out in the test area right away.
Right away?
Yeah, they're doing some kind of demonstration. In fact, the team's out there now setting it up.
Okay. Now, here it is, Pyle. You get that horse of yours back to that farmer right now, understand?
Yes, Sergeant.
And the minute you hand him over, you head straight back to the test area. You got that, Pyle?
Yes, Sergeant. But can I ask you just one question? Are we both sure that this is really what we want to do?
Get out of here!
Yes, Sergeant. I guess we are sure. If I just had more time, Dolly, just a little more time. That's our answer, Dolly. I'll hide you in that shed till dark, and that'll give me time to find you a place. This is perfect, Dolly. You'll be out of sight, and you'll be nice and safe.
Eddie! Pyle, how did you get back here so fast? Did you get rid of the horse?
Well,
You didn't do it. I can tell by the look on your face you didn't do it. Pyle, I gave you an order, and when I give you an order, I expect it to be carried out. Where'd you put the horse? Hey! Hunt!
At ease. Everybody here, Sergeant?
All present and accounted for, sir.
Good. We'll get right to the demonstration.
Where'd you put the horse?
Now, men, you're here to witness a new type of plastic explosive. One that's half the size, yet packs twice the explosive punch.
Where'd you put the horse?
I want you all to look down there. And you'll see what one of these charges can do to that old supply shed. Now, stand fast, watch closely, and no talking. Now then, if there are no questions, we'll proceed.
Sergeant Carter, Sergeant Carter.
Quiet, Pyle.
All right, men, we're ready.
Sergeant Carter, please.
Will you be quiet, Pyle? You heard the colonel. No talking.
But, Sergeant...
All right, sir, all set.
Fine. Let her rip.
Pyle!
Hold it! Hold everything! Sergeant, what in the devil is going on? Is Pyle gone crazy?
Sir, the shed happens to be occupied, sir.
Occupied? Who's in there?
Well, it's not exactly a who, sir. It's an it. Sir, I guess you'd like an explanation.
Like I said, sir, this is all my doings, and I sure hope you won't hold Sergeant Carter and the rest of the platoon responsible.
Well, I suggest you take this horse right back where you got it from. I understand your concern, but we can't treat horses like human beings. We can't let them stand around and wait for their time to come.
Yes, sir.
You'd better get started right away.
I will, sir.
Let's get on with the demonstration, Sergeant.
Aye, sir. Are you satisfied, Pyle? Are you convinced now that that horse has to go? Or would you like a direct order from the Pentagon?
No, Sergeant. I know now it's the only right thing to do. And, well, don't worry. This time I'll do it.
What do you think?
It's pretty.
Not bad for an amateur, huh?
You mean you're not an artist?
No, I just dabble a little.
Well, for a dabbler, it sure is turning out pretty. Well, the branches on that tree look almost real.
Thanks. It's just a hobby I picked up after I retired. I own all this land, and I've got nothing to do now except paint it. I figured if it's good enough for Churchill and Eisenhower, it's good enough for me. Who knows? I may be another Grandma Moses.
Well, it's real nice to come out here in the fresh air and sunshine and the birds singing.
You get pretty sick of reading the newspaper, playing cards, and watching television.
I bet you do with that.
This picture may never win a prize, may never even be sold or anything. It'll prove nothing, except that somebody did it. And that somebody served a purpose. It's like that tree. May not mean anything to anybody else, but it does to me. Why? Because I'm painting it. To me, it's useful.
You're right. That tree is serving a purpose. Well, by just being there. I never thought of it like that.
That's a good way to think. Then you get the feeling that you're not just vegetating on a shelf, you're serving some purpose in life, and still something to be done.
Don't she look good standing there?
Yes.
Don't you think she'd look good in your painting?
I don't know. Maybe she would.
Then she's all yours to paint to your heart's content. You see, sir, Dolly's a lot like you, and that old tree out there, too. She's getting on in years, but, well, she'd still like to be useful and, well, posing for you and adding something to your painting. Well, that'd do it.
Well, maybe she would round it out at that. How long could you let me have her to pose?
Oh, you could have her permanent, sir.
Permanent? But
You see, I've been looking for a real nice home for her, and this place would be ideal. Well, Dolly'd not only be a good model for you, but she'd make you a wonderful and loyal friend. Both of you being retired, you'd be good company for each other.
all right, son. Well, hello there. I don't have so many friends around here that I can afford to turn down one.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, goodbye, Dolly, and see, there you are serving a purpose.
Hey, Sarge, look over here. What? Oh, he's really flipped. Come on, Boyle. Pyle! Another animal you're saving, Pyle? Have you gone crazy? Have you lost your mind completely? There's no deal, you understand? The deal's off. Whatever agreement he made with you, it's not legal. It won't stand up in court. He's mentally incompetent.
Sergeant,
And you come with me, Pyle. I don't want to hear another word.
Sergeant, you don't understand.
All I understand, Pyle, is that you're not bringing any elephants on this base. Now, get that through your fat head. No elephants.
But, Sergeant, I wasn't buying this elephant. He's with the circus.
Huh?
You see, the circus is opening in town tonight, and I was just asking this fella where I could buy tickets. Say, Sergeant, would you like to go with me? I'm sure we'd have a real good time.
Oh, just stay away from me, Pyle. Just stay away. Well, did you have to tag along tonight? Baby, I had big plans for you and me. You said we were going to be alone tonight, just you and me alone. Come on, baby, I haven't seen you in a whole month.
What do you want me to do, Vince? Now, Eileen is an old friend of the family. She's staying with me, and I'm not going to go off and leave her by herself.
But tonight? Tonight of all nights?
Sorry, Vince. It's double date or no date at all.
But it's late. Where am I going to find...
Double date or no date at all.
Come on, be fair. I haven't seen you for a whole month, and at the last minute you throw me a curve like this? Come up with a guy for a double date. It ain't fair. It just ain't fair.
Double date or no date at all.
Yes, sure. I understand, Fred. It is Saturday night. It is the last minute. Have a good time. Look, Fred, can you recommend somebody? I thought of him. Him too. Okay, thanks.
I hate to bother you, Sergeant, but could I have my pass? I didn't get a chance to pick my number this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Hey, Slater, come here.
Yes, Sergeant?
You know, being a sergeant, I don't ordinarily socialize with guys of a lower rank than me, but... Well, I kind of like you, kid, so I'm willing to make an exception in your case. You see, I have this girl who has a friend, a real gorgeous dish, and I'd be happy to do you a favor and take you along.
Real nice of you to ask, Sergeant, but I'm already set for tonight with my own girl. Nice of you to ask, though, Sergeant. Thank you.
Slater,
Yes, Sergeant?
can you recommend somebody?
Well, everybody in the barracks is gone, except Gomer. I left him reading a magazine.
Never. I refuse to sink that low.
Sorry, Vince. It's either a double date or no date at all.
Hey, Sergeant.
Hey, Pyle. What you doing?
I was just reading the real behind-the-scenes stories of Ann Margaret. Do you know she hadn't had an easy life?
Yeah, look,
She's
Pyle,
had her trials and tribulations just like the rest of us.
that's all very interesting.
Just to
Pyle.
look at her up on the screen singing and dancing, you'd think she didn't have a care in the world. But she's known heartaches and disappointments. Just think that...
That's all very interesting, but will you pay attention? I've got something important to ask you.
Well, yes, Sergeant.
Have you got a date for tonight?
No, I hadn't.
Good. I've got a big surprise for you. How would you like to go on a double date with me?
You want me to go on a date with you?
That's right.
Well, that's a real honor, Sergeant. It really is. And I'm proud to know that you think enough of me to ask. But I think I'll just go to the movie here on the base tonight.
That's how you're going to spend a Saturday night? Sitting in the movies?
I don't mind.
Well, look, Pyle, I can't let you do it.
Do what?
Sit in the movies all by yourself.
Well, I don't mind, Sergeant. Don't you worry about me. I'll be just fine, honest.
Now, look, Pyle, this is your sergeant you're talking to. I can tell when you're putting on an act.
But I'm not putting on...
You'd much rather go out with a girl, but being the shy, lonely type of fella you are, you don't have a girl. I understand. That's why it's my duty to fix you up with a date.
But I don't want a date, and I ain't lonely. I'm very happy.
You're just saying that. You're not really happy.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You're miserable. You're miserable.
You think so, Sergeant?
And I'm not asking you to go. I'm ordering you.
You're ordering?
Ordering. Now, you get dressed. You're going on a double date with me, and you're going to have fun.
Gomer Pyle? What kind of a name is that for a human being? What's a Gomer Pyle?
Honey, he's a very nice guy. He's got a lot of class.
Well, that'll be the day when you come up with somebody classic.
Yes, I tell you. He's from the South.
So he's from the South, so what?
What do you mean, so what? Are you kidding? Well, he comes from one of them aristocrat families from the South. You know, they're loaded with dough. Loaded.
Vince, are you putting me on?
Baby, would I lie to you?
Only when your mouth is moving.
Lover, take my word for it. This Gomer Pyle is the real McCoy. Anyway, who does he have to be for this friend of yours? Who's she?
What do you mean, who's she?
That's right, who's she?
Well, she happens to be something special, too. She comes from a very prominent family, society. Yeah, she's a society girl.
Society? Where do you come to society?
Are you doubting my word? Because if you are, you can just...
I'm not. Look, I know it's going to work out great. Your friend and Gomer will have a good time, and you and me can kind of sneak off and be by ourselves for a while. You know what I mean?
A society girl?
And you're going out with her, huh? And you were going to the movies. Come on, come on.
Golly, Sergeant, I don't know.
What's the matter?
Well, I ain't never been out with a society girl before. Richest girl I was ever out with was Elsie Tippett. Her daddy made false teeth over in Mount Pilot.
Stop worrying. It'll be fine. Come on, get dressed.
Well, at least with Elsie Tippett, there were lots of things we could talk about. Gum conditions and loose dentures. I wouldn't know how to act in front of a society girl.
Look, will you stop making a big thing out of this? It's just one evening. Now, come on, move it.
I don't know, Sergeant. I feel out of place. I'm just a fella who used to work on a filling station back home.
Pyle.
I mean, I know about filling up tanks with gas and adding a quarter oil and fixing flat tires. But what do I know about society? What do we talk about?
Who says you have to talk? Just sit. Now, look, come on. I want to see my girl tonight.
Just sit. Well, I don't know, Sergeant.
Pyle, will you move it?
did you have to tell him I was a society girl? Well, honey, it never hurts to have a little build-up. Makes you more desirable, you know what I mean? And anyway, this boy you're meeting is from one of them rich Southern families.
I just don't like lying. If your father's a construction worker, you're not exactly in society.
Well, okay, but for tonight, just let it be more glamorous. It won't hurt. Now, stop being so nervous, will you? I want you to have a nice time.
Golly, Sergeant, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or not.
Pyle, you starting up again. What's with you? You never been out with a girl before?
Well, not with a society girl. I just know I'm going to feel out of place. What do I know about society?
Pyle, will you knock it off? Now, you've been whining and complaining ever since I brought up this date. I'm warning you, if you don't quit, I'm... Hiya, baby.
Hi.
Hey, I just got 4 words to say. Va-va-va-voom.
You're all class, Ben.
Buddy, I'd like you to meet my friend, Gomer Pyle.
Hey, Miss Bunny.
Hi, come on in. This is my friend Eileen Carson. Eileen, this is Vince Carter and Gomer Pyle.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Eileen.
Well, let's all sit down, shall we? Right over this way, Gomer. Oh, that is your name, isn't it, Gomer? I got it right, didn't I?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, good. Well, now, there. That's better.
Well, now that we all know each other, how about you and me going out for a little stroll, huh, babe?
Well, what's the matter with you? You just walked in through the door. Can't we just take a minute and talk?
Talk?
Yeah, talk.
Oh. Carson, was that your name?
Yes, Eileen Carson.
Bunny tells me that you come from a very prominent family.
Well, actually,
That's right. Her father's very big in the building business.
Is that a fact?
well,
Yeah, you know that Kirby building, that 16-story job over on 5th and Main? Well, her father had a lot to do with the building of that, didn't he, Eileen?
well, he...
You're from the South, Gomer, are you?
Yes, ma'am, that's right. I'm from the South.
Well, what business is your family in?
My family? Well,
Oil. That's the business Gomer was in back home. Oil.
Really? Oil?
yes, ma'am, that and guys.
Gas?
Naturally, oil and gas go together. Gas comes from oil.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that must be a fascinating business.
Well,
Well, he worked the pumps himself.
You did?
yes, ma'am. Next to working the pumps, my biggest pleasure was checking the dipsticks.
Dipsticks?
Yeah, that shows the oil level. It's technical. Honey, there's more to this oil game than you and I'll ever know. But it's a wonderful business, though, and it's still there waiting for him if he ever wants to go back. Well, now that we really know all about each other, how about you and me going out?
You relax, Vince. I haven't even asked him if they wanted anything. Well, how about you, Gomer? Would you like something?
I'll have a lemonade if you please.
Well, all righty, lemonade. How about you, Eileen?
Me too.
Well, fine. Coming right up. Oh, excuse me.
I'll give you a hand. Baby, I thought that maybe you and me could...
Oil, huh? So he's an oil. And he's a very nice fella, too.
Well, would I bring anyone who wasn't, huh?
Yeah.
Look, baby, after we finish our drink, how about you and me going for a little walk? I'm dying to be alone with you.
But don't be silly. I can't leave Eileen alone.
Well, she's not alone. She's with Gomer.
Well, it's not polite. This is a double date and we should stick together.
Well, what for? I did like you asked me. I got a friend for your friend. Let her have her own fun. Oh, baby, we got lots to talk about.
Vincent, will you please? I gotta fix the drinks.
But, baby...
Open this.
Sure nice place, Miss Bunny here.
yes, it is.
And she seems like a real fine person, too.
Oh, she is. Your friend seems very nice also.
Sergeant Carter? Oh, yeah, he's a real wonderful human being. Miss Bunny sure seems nice.
Oh, she is.
It's a real nice place she's got here, too.
Yes, it is.
Here we are, kids. Lemonade. There you are, Gomer. Eileen.
Looks real refreshing. Thank you kindly, ma'am.
Hey, it's such a beautiful night. How about you and me sitting outside, huh, sugar?
Well, Vince, we
Come
can't
on.
just...
It'll be nice.
Gomer and Eileen don't want us just to run off.
I know what. Let's all go out on the porch and say it.
No. I mean, I'm sure you and Eileen have a lot to talk about. Come on, honey.
Sure is a nice place Miss Bunny has here.
Well, I don't like walking out on her that way. It isn't nice.
Oh, believe me, she'll be fine. Stop worrying about them and concentrate on us. Honey, it's been a full month since I've seen you, and I've had you on my mind.
Excuse me, Sergeant. Miss Bunny, how do you turn on the television? It don't seem to come on.
You have to turn on the wall switch.
Oh, thank you. The wall switch. I didn't think of that.
Let's see, where were we? I remember.
They're not having a good time.
Huh?
If they were having a good time, they wouldn't have turned on the television. This means they have nothing to talk about. Eileen's not having a good time.
Would you stop being so nervous? What's the matter with you?
Well, I feel responsible for her. She's my guest, and I want her to have a good time.
Well, she'll have a good time. Look, turning on the TV set's a good icebreaker. They'll see some show they like, and they'll begin to talk about it. Believe me.
Excuse me, Sergeant. Guess what? There's a John Wayne movie on. Don't you want to come in and watch?
No.
I thought you'd be interested since it's all about the Marines, and I just thought that you...
Pyle?
I'm sure you'd be interested about the Marine Corps.
You see, they found a movie on TV they like, and they're happy. Everybody's happy.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? Right now, this minute?
Well, I'm hungry, and I bet Eileen is too. Well, you know what we had for lunch today? A salad. Just a salad.
Okay. Why don't you whip up some knockwurst and beans like you did the last time I was here?
What?
That won't take...
I thought we were going out.
Out?
Out to a restaurant. I know they'll want to go someplace nice. Let's take him to the Starbright Roof.
The Starbright Roof?
Well, yeah, Gomer and Eileen are used to the best. We can't just take him to a hash house. The Starbright Roof. Come on, let's go tell him. Oh, come on, honey. Vince and I have got a great idea. We're going to go to dinner tonight at the Starbright Roof at the Drake Hotel. Come on, let's get our things.
The Starbright Roof? That's the most expensive place in town.
I know.
Well, how did an idea like that ever come up anyway?
Don't ask me. All I know is I wanted to go out with my girl tonight, alone. Just the two of us for a nice, quiet evening. And it's turning into a nightmare. Right now, I wish I was on that beach with John Wayne.
Fine,
Will you pipe down? Look, Charlie, if you think I gave you that fen just for that...
We are in luck. A table just became a filling.
I figured it would. All right, come on, you wanted a table?
Some nice business that feller's got. $5 just for shaking hands.
Pyle, will you pipe down? And if you get up to dance, for Pete's sake, don't dance country. Remember, that's a society girl you're with.
Boy, did you see that view, Eileen? Is that something? Oh, it's beautiful.
Would you care for cocktails before dinner?
Oh, well, I'd like to have...
Look, as a matter of fact, we're all very hungry and we don't have a lot of time, so could we see the menu?
Very well, monsieur.
What do you mean we don't have a lot of time? What's the rush?
Well, we don't want to spend the whole evening in a restaurant, do we? I mean, we do want a little time to visit, don't we?
Oh, relax. First, we're going to eat. Oh, Eileen, isn't this a nice place?
Oh, yes, very.
You know, Eileen goes to these kinds of places all the time.
How much do you generally have to pay to sit down?
Well, what he means is...
Oh,
Monsieur.
thanks.
May I suggest some pâté de foie gras to start off with? Or perhaps some of our cheese tidbits au beurre noir? Or caviar?
Oh, gee,
Look, why don't we skip all that beginning stuff and dive right into the main course, huh?
Good idea. All them appetizers and things can bloat you.
Then may I suggest the filet de boeuf à la Girondine? It's excellent tonight.
Good. That buffala, whatever you said, all around.
just checking the menu for the prices. Golly.
Yeah, well, it's a very good restaurant.
And it cost us $5 just to sit. Did you know that? It cost us $5 just to sit down.
This is your big oil man?
You know what they say. The bigger they are, the cheaper they are. Now you know how he hangs on to it. Look, why don't we get out of here? We ain't had a minute alone, you and me.
We're alone.
Alone? This is alone?
I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself.
Besides, I don't think Eileen's enjoying herself. She looks bored.
Huh?
You see? She looks bored. Come on, let's blow.
Well, maybe you're right.
Yeah, we can go home and you and me can have that minute alone together. Come on. Come on, we're going.
We are?
Yeah. Here, you drive.
Me? You mean you want me to drive your car? But, Sergeant...
Drive.
Well, aren't we getting out?
Bunny, listen, let's stay out here in the car and let them go on in.
Well, Vince, we can't do that.
A minute. Can I have a minute alone with you?
Are you coming out, Sergeant?
No, close the door. Pyle, listen. Bunny and I are going to stay out here in the car for a while. Why don't you and Eileen go on in the house and make yourselves at home?
Well, heck's sake, we'll sit out here with you if you like.
No, you can't in the house.
Okay, Sergeant.
Vince, we really should go in with them.
Why? Why can't I have a minute alone with you? A minute alone. Just you and me alone. Just you and me together alone.
Okay, we're alone.
Good.
Can't find nothing on the television.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't really want to watch anyway. I'm sorry I haven't been more fun tonight.
Well, I hadn't been much fun myself. I guess I just ain't used to a girl like you.
Girl like me?
You know, being in society and all. I'll tell you the honest truth. I never have been out with a society girl before.
Really? I think a man like you went out with a lot of society girls.
Oh, no, you don't get a chance to meet many society girls working in the filling station the way I did. And since I've been in the Marine Corps, well, I just had...
Filling station?
Back home where I worked.
You worked in a filling station?
That's right.
Is that what you meant by working the pumps?
Well, yeah, what you think I meant?
Well, I thought you were an oil millionaire.
An oil millionaire? That's a good one. Where'd you ever get an idea like that?
Well, you know when we first met and Bunny was saying, Gomer, I'm not a society girl.
You ain't?
No, Bunny just made that up.
Why would she do a thing like that?
Thought it would make a better impression. Oh, isn't this embarrassing?
It sure is. Hey, you know what? I bet Sergeant Carter let you all think I was a big old man just to make an impression, too.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Gomer, I'm so glad neither of us has any money.
Yeah, ain't we lucky? Come on. Shame. Shame on you, Sergeant Carter, for trying to make out I was a big old man. And shame on you, Miss Bunny, for trying to make out Eileen was a society girl.
Wait a minute. You mean you're not?
And you're not? Bunny, you lied to me.
I lied. Well, you started it first with that fancy story about that rich Southern family. I lied.
Well, that stuff about her and the society, that was pretty good too, kid.
Well, if you hadn't lied about him, I wouldn't have lied about her.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Hey, Big Mouth.
Who are you calling Big Mouth?
Sergeant! I can tell you and Miss Bunny would rather be alone, so we just leave you alone.
Why are we still arguing? We were both wrong. Let's call it a draw. What do you say? Huh? Come on.
Well, you know what we should do? We should apologize to Eileen and Gomer. That's what we should do.
Well, we'll apologize when they get back, baby. They go out for a walk, and when they get back, we'll apologize. Come on now, let's sit down. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Finally.
Sergeant Carter, it's almost 12 o'clock. We gotta get back to the base. I happened to notice the time while we was out walking, and I rushed all this way back to tell you.
So it's 12 o'clock. What I care? You want to go back to the base? Go back. Me, I want to stay here. Now get out of here. Turn out those lights on the way out.
$12 o'clock? I didn't know it was that late. Oh, I gotta get some sleep. Good night, Vincent. Thanks for a very lovely evening. Did you have a nice time, honey?
I'll kill him. If you'll help me when I get back to the base, I'll kill him.
I want every inch of these grounds police. Every inch. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Put those heads down and pick up everything that doesn't grow. Move it, move it.
Shazam! Look what I found.
What you got,
Look
Joe?
at this.
What is it? What is it? What'd you find?
4-leaf clover.
Well, aren't you lucky?
Ain't I, though? I wonder what kind of luck it'll bring me.
I wonder.
All right, you people, get back to work. Move it, move it.
Back home, Barbara Sue Hooverback found one under her front porch, and 2 weeks later she married Wendell Conroy, and to this day she still wears that clover in a locket around her neck on a chain.
Pyle.
She's so proud of it. She wears these real low-cut dresses so everybody can see it.
Pyle.
Of course, she can't see the clover unless she opens up her locket. Shoot, she'll open up that locket at the drop of a hat.
Pyle, knock it off.
Yes.
All right, you people, fall in. All right, come on, move it, move it, move it, move it. The smoking lamp is lit for one cigarette.
The smoking lamp is lit for one cigarette. Aye, aye, sir.
Light up.
Sir,
What do you want?
I don't smoke, so it'd be all right if I kept looking for some 4-leaf clovers.
Get.
Thank you, sir. I might even find one for you.
Wonderful.
Of course, you don't have a locket you can keep it in like Barbara Sue Hooverback, but there's other places you can keep it, like in the sweatband of your hat or in your...
Pyle.
Sir?
Get lost.
Yes, sir.
Afternoon, Captain.
Good afternoon, Sergeant. Could I talk to you for a moment?
Something wrong, Captain?
Not unless you call making a Marine base look like a street corner.
I authorized a break for these people, Captain.
A break does not mean ogling women Marines. Sergeant, inform your men that this is an administration building and not the corner drugstore.
Aye, Captain.
Carry on.
What's the matter with you knuckleheads? Don't you know a captain when you see one?
Sorry, sir, we didn't see her.
You didn't see her? You didn't see a captain? All right, you just stand at attention, and you'll watch for captains.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Private,
Yes, ma'am.
what was that you just did?
Ma'am?
Just now when I approached, what did you do?
I guess I tipped my hat. That's right, I tipped my hat, Swat, ma'am.
You did you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do these bars show you that I'm a captain?
Yes, ma'am. But the rest of the uniform shows me that you're a lady. And I always tip my hat to a lady.
One of your people, Sergeant?
Yes, he is, Captain.
It is customary for recruits to learn to salute their very first day in the service.
Yes, ma'am. Didn't he salute the captain?
He did not. He tipped his hat.
Tipped his hat.
On account of she's a lady, and I always tip my hat to a lady.
Private, do you know your general orders?
Yes, ma'am, I sure do.
What is your 10th general order?
Let's see now. To take charge of this post and all government property.
That is your first one.
Yes, ma'am, I know it is. But I learned them in ordering, so I have to go all the way through them to get the tent. To walk my post in a military manner.
Did this man learn military courtesy or did he not?
He certainly did, Captain. I can't...
Then why is he not showing it?
Well, I just don't...
That is a poor reflection of his training, Sergeant, if I may say.
I've got it. Here it is. To salute all officers and all colors and standards not cased. That's your 10th general order right there.
That is correct. And the way you do that is you raise your right hand directly and smartly. Thumb and fingers are straight and touching each other. Your upper arm is level with the deck and your forearm at a 45-degree angle. You hold that salute until it is returned, then cut away your hand smartly back to your side. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. But wouldn't it be a whole lot easier if I just tipped my hat and said, good afternoon, ma'am?
Excuse me, if the captain will let me take over now...
No, Sergeant. I have a much better plan. You have this private report to me every evening this week in my office after duty hours. I think I can teach him the business of saluting so that he never forgets it. That's an order. Carry on.
Just think, Sergeant, she's going to take a whole week just to teach me proper saluting. Ain't that nice of her?
Gomer, why are you wasting your time sprucing up? You'll be torn to shreds as soon as you get to her office.
Oh, quit joshing, Duke. She's a real nice lady, that lady captain.
Gomer, that's no lady. Do you know what they call her? Captain Iron Pants. Yeah, Captain Iron Pants.
Duke, you ought not call her that. It ain't respectful.
Well, that's what they call her all over.
Hey, Sergeant, sir. It's getting ready to go to my saluting lesson.
Well, you fixed it up for yourself real good, boy. Pulling down night school duty. Now, you listen up and listen good. That woman is a captain. You say yes, Captain Martin, no, Captain Martin. Understand?
Yes, sir. Captain Martin. I don't care what nobody else calls her.
Huh?
Do you know what they call her on this base? And they ain't respectful neither.
Corporal Peters.
Yes, Captain?
Do you type with a compact?
No, ma'am. But I'm meeting Sergeant Marshall after work, and it's just a few minutes before 17:30.
Those few minutes belong to this office. So if you wish to indulge in camouflage operations, don't do it here. Let me tell you something, Corporal. Those little feminine vanities do nothing to further a career in the service. In fact, I've found them a hindrance. Oh, excuse me, sir.
That's all right. You have those requisitions, Cap?
Yes, sir, right here.
I saw that business with Corporal Peters. Don't you think you're being a little rough on her?
No, sir, I don't. After all, we haven't secured for the night yet. And we are Marines working on a Marine base.
You're also women. I don't think it's so bad if Corporal Peters puts on a little makeup. She's just trying to win a different battle than you are.
Have a nice evening.
Oh, thank you.
Good evening, ma'am. Private Gomer Pyle. You requested that I come here for some extra duty, so here I am.
Oh, yes. The hat tipper. Over here, Private. These cards list all the officers on the base. I want you to file them alphabetically in the lower drawer.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that you'll get in practice, whenever you come to a card with a woman officer on it, I want you to stand up and salute.
You mean salute card?
That's right. Oh, is that funny, Private? Does that strike you as funny?
No, ma'am.
All right, sit down and get to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I was always taught not to sit while a lady's standing. My mama taught me that.
I am a captain in the United States Marine Corps, and that is all I am to you.
Well, that's a lot, ma'am. That's a whole lot.
You bet it is. Now, get busy. When you finish with that, I have other duties for you. Sit down.
Yes, ma'am. Lieutenant James Parker, Captain Larry Brown. Oh, here's one. Captain Martha Bentley. Is that what you mean, ma'am?
What do you think you're doing?
Well, I'm holding a chair out for you, ma'am. That's another thing my mama taught me.
Private, listen. There are a lot of things you've learned in civilian life that do not always apply here. Now, common courtesies are fine, but chair pushing and hat tipping and other civilian niceties are unnecessary. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you trying to help me, Captain. But I hope you won't be too upset if it don't take right away. After all, my mama had over 20 years to drum all that into me.
Then we may just be here that long.
Good evening, ma'am.
Private, you're late.
I'm sure sorry about that. I was almost here when I remembered the sweets, and I had to run all the way back to the barracks to get them.
Sweets? Recruits aren't allowed candy. Where did you get it?
Oh, it ain't for me. It's for you, Captain. It's just an old chocolate bar. My cousin Goober sent it to me in the mail. He didn't know we ain't supposed to have them. Thought you might like it.
Private Pyle, are you trying to bribe me with a candy bar?
Gosh, no, ma'am. It's just a tiny present's all. Ladies should get presents. Please take it.
Private, I've got a lot of work to do, and so do you. Suppose we get started.
Yes, ma'am. Captain, if you want to holler at me for being late, you just do that. Otherwise, the candy might really look like a bribe.
What?
What I'm trying to say is, it ain't really a bribe, and if you'll go ahead and holler, then I'll know you think of it as a present.
Never mind.
Just go ahead and holler, and that'll prove you don't think of it as a bribe.
That won't be necessary.
But, Captain, if you just...
Pyle, get busy cleaning this office now. Move it, move it, move it. Move it.
Yes, ma'am.
Private, what are you doing?
Sharpening these pencils like you asked, ma'am.
This may be a silly question, but why don't you use the pencil sharpener? What do you think that is? Now resharpen those, and on the double.
Ma'am?
What is it?
This here thing's a pencil sharpener. It ain't got no handle.
It's electric. You put the pencils in and they sharpen themselves.
You're pulling my leg, ma'am.
There.
Lord, what'll they think of next? Electric. Ain't that something?
Pyle, stop playing with that pencil sharpener.
Yes, ma'am. There you are, ma'am. There's the first one. That sure was fun. Too short?
Not for a golf tee. But it is too short for me.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I can see that now. A lady shouldn't use a stubby pencil. You might break your fingernails and ruin all that nice banana-smelling polish.
I don't have long fingernails. And I don't wear that nice banana-smelling polish.
That's right. You sure enough don't, ma'am. Could have swore you did. Maybe you ought to.
What?
Well, ma'am, you have such nice hands. Long fingernails and that red goo could make them even look that much nicer. Well, I'll go sharpen you some more pencils now. I didn't see it.
Well, the rest of the people are on arrest period. What are you doing?
Just a little private policing, sir.
What's the matter? Don't you have enough to do between Captain Martin and myself?
Oh, yes, sir, but this is different. You see, I'm just looking for tinfoil.
Tinfoil?
Yes, sir, it's a surprise for Captain Martin.
You got to surprise Captain Martin with a ball of tinfoil?
Oh, no, sir. The tinfoil is just for the decoration. The real surprise is underneath that.
Carry on.
Yes, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Is that a new way to stand at attention?
No, ma'am. It's just that I know how ladies like to be surprised.
What?
I found them growing wild back yonder at the back gate. They're for you. Take them.
Oh, that's very nice, Private. But I'm afraid I don't have anything to keep them in, so I can't accept.
How's this?
What's that?
Homemade vase. Pretty, ain't they?
Yes, they are.
This here vase is just an old milk bottle I found back of the mess hall. I covered it in tinfoil on account I didn't think a vase ought to say low fat on it.
Thank you, Private.
You're welcome, ma'am. I think a lady should have pretty things on her desk.
All right, Private. May as well secure for the night. Check that window, will you?
Yes, ma'am. Shazam! Would you look at that moon? Boy, it'd sure be a great night for gas watching back home.
Private, finish up and you can shove off.
Yes, ma'am.
Gas watching?
Yes, ma'am. Back home, I used to work at this filling station. Whenever there'd be a shiny moon and I'd be working nights, I used to spill out a little gas on the concrete and watch the reflection that the moon made on it. All them shiny colors and runny lines.
I see.
Sometimes this girl I knew named Ida Carrington, she'd come over and sit with me, and we'd eat a bag of pine nuts together. We'd just sit there and look at all them runny lines and listen to old Lester Pruitt's hound dog baying away at the moon. Way off yonder, you could hear the whistle off the Nashville train passing through. Woo-woo! And that's the only sound there'd be, except every once in a while Ida Carrington cracking open a pine nut with her teeth. I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean to run off like that. I'm sure a lady like you's got a lot better memories of moonlit nights than chomping away at pine nuts and looking at guys. Well, I guess I'll shove off if the captain don't need nothing else.
No, that'll be all.
Well, see you tomorrow night, ma'am. Good night, Captain.
Off to your night today with Captain Iron Pants?
I wish you'd stop calling her that.
Why?
Well, it ain't respectful, and she's a lady.
A lady? Oh, Gomer, look alive.
Well, she is, and she's a real nice lady, too.
You know what I bet, Gomer? I bet she's got a tattoo on her arm.
You know what, Duke? You ain't a gentleman is what?
Huh?
Talking that way about a lady. It's just crude talk.
Oh, come on.
It's true. It ain't nothing but crude talk.
Gomer, it's just too bad you're only a boot and she's a captain. Otherwise, you could take her out. You picture that, fellas? Gomer out dancing with Captain Iron Pants? She'd probably want to lead.
It's crude talk. It ain't nothing but crude talk. You're crude, Duke. You're awful crude. Good evening, Captain. I didn't hear you come in.
This is an office, Private, not a dance hall.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about that. It's just that whenever I hear any kind of music, my feet just naturally start moving. Before I know it, all of it's moving. Do you dance, ma'am?
I beg your pardon?
I said, do you dance?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame.
What?
I mean, 'cause dancing is just about the most fun there is once you get the hang of it.
Private, get on with your work.
Yes, ma'am. Captain?
What now?
I bet there are a lot of nice officers on this base that are just dying for you to learn.
Look here.
Like that Colonel Van Pyle. I seen him through the officers' club window one night while I was on duty, and he was dancing with a girl not half as pretty as you.
Private, you may go back to your quarters now.
Yes, ma'am. Captain? If you'll excuse me for saying this, well, I know that you're a top-notch Marine, and you really work hard at it. But you was a lady before you was a Marine, and a mighty fine lady, too. So maybe, if you'd work a little at that, I mean, maybe...
Maybe my nickname wouldn't be Iron Pants?
Why, never. Good night, ma'am.
Good night, Captain.
Good night, sir.
Captain Martin.
Yes, sir.
That's very nice, whatever it is you have on.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
Good evening, ma'am. Well, don't you look nice, ma'am?
Thank you, Private.
Real nice. Well, what would you like for me to do this evening?
Private Pyle, you've completed your week of extra duty with me, you know. It won't be necessary for you to come back here anymore.
Oh, heck.
What?
Well, I was beginning to enjoy coming here every evening after chow, ma'am. And I'm gonna miss it, what? But don't you worry, I won't forget the lesson you wanted me to learn. I'll salute all officers, whether they're man or woman.
Good.
And next time you come passing by, I know just what I'll do. May I? Good afternoon, ma'am.
Very good, Private.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, I don't reckon I'll be seeing much of you anymore, ma'am.
Goodbye, Private.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Private.
Ma'am?
There are hundreds of men on this base who salute me when I walk by. If you should forget and tip your hat instead when I pass, well, if no one else is around, I'll try not to notice.
Oh, don't you worry, ma'am. I won't never forget. Well, bye, ma'am.
All right, let's go. Let's pick it all up. Let's move it. Cut. Afternoon, sir. Afternoon, ma'am. Yes, you were. All right, let's go. Let's pick it all up. Let's get this area cleaned up.
Something interesting catch your eye, Private?
Don't she look nice, Sergeant? Don't she look real nice?
Huh?
Captain Martin, don't she look nice? Bless her heart.
Pyle, that is a Marine captain you're looking at. That's all. A Marine captain.
Oh, yes, sir. But she's a lady. She's a real fine lady. Now, don't gobble it suffice, Henrietta. Ain't nobody gonna take it away from you. Just sip it nice and easy. And don't slur.
Gomer! Gomer, I thought you got rid of that cat.
Oh, I guess she likes me.
You mean she likes that chow you've been feeding her?
Well, that too, I suppose. I wished I could find her some fish heads. The cook says we only get frozen fish here and they don't freeze the heads. Well, I'll rustle her up something else nice later on.
Gomer, you're really asking for trouble. You know you're not supposed to have any pets on the base. What's the matter with you?
A cat he's got.
Gomer, what is it about you that brings every stray animal to your doorstep?
I don't know. I just kind of take to them and they kind of take to me. I like all living things. Anyway, she reminds me of Henrietta, my cat back home. That's the reason I call her Henrietta, on account she reminds me of her. You'd have loved Henrietta. Clean. Why, she was the cleanest cat you nearly ever saw.
Pyle!
Oh, hey, Sergeant.
Pyle, did I not tell you to get rid of that cat?
Well, you did, but...
This is a Marine base, not a home for lost animals.
Well, I tried to get rid of her, honest, but she just keeps coming back. She just keeps coming back to me.
That's very touching.
I'm really sorry, Sergeant, but I'll try
And never mind, Pyle. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to get rid of the cat. The cat is going to get rid of you.
Beg your pardon?
You're going on a little trip, is what? Now, all of you, listen up. You're all going on a trip. We just got orders to move out. We're boarding ship for 3 weeks of maneuvers.
You really mean it, Sergeant? We're going to go aboard a for real Navy ship?
No, it's the good ship Lollipop. Now, all of you, I want you to get all your gear together. We're moving out tomorrow at 1900. That means Marines only. No cats. Is that clear, Pyle?
Right, Sergeant. Well, I guess this looks like the end of the line for us, Henrietta. That's all part of being a Marine. When duty calls, you just got to leave your loved ones behind. Okay, you finished your milk, so now's as good time as any for you to be on your way. Okay, now. Go on. Scoot. Go on now. Don't look back. That's the worst thing you can do. Just look straight ahead and keep going. Now, scoot. That's a good girl. Just keep walking. If I was you, I'd hook up with a civilian. They lead a lot more settled lives.
Pyle, did you say goodbye to your whiskey friend?
My what?
The cat.
Oh, you mean Henrietta? Oh, yeah, I expect she's back in town by now. To see what
Is
I've
she
done.
gone?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now move it. All right, let's straighten up that formation. Look alive in there. Come on, buckle up that chin strap. You too. Come on, move. All right, pull up. Get ready to load up.
You better get that cat out of here before she follows you on the truck. That's all Sergeant Carter needs.
It ain't gonna do you any good to hang around here. I can't take you with me. Now go on and scoot. Now go on. Now you don't want to get me in trouble with the sergeant, do you? Please, Henrietta, go on. Now stop that. It ain't gonna do you any good. You can cuddle all you want to, but I just can't. Sorry, Sergeant, I forgot something.
Let me try and guess. Your head?
No, it's just that...
Are we keeping you away from something important?
No, it's just...
I wouldn't want to drag you away from anything.
Well, that's real considerate of you, Sergeant, but I was just...
Get on that truck!
Well, here it is, gentlemen. You're home away from home.
This is it? This is the whole thing?
Yeah, just make yourself at home. I hope none of you have claustrophobia.
What's claustrophobia?
That's when you're afraid of small, closed-in places.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Yeah, why? What do you call it?
I call it being afraid of small, closed-in places.
Why, you got it?
No, I like it. I think it makes things cozier.
Yeah, swell.
I hope I get the top bunk up there. It'd be like sleeping in a treehouse back home.
Well, just don't walk in your sleep. That first step will be a beaut. Well, Navy, how's the chow in this tub?
The best. You know the Navy. We always go first class.
Do you ever serve sardines once in a while?
Yeah, sometimes.
How about tuna fish?
Yeah?
In fresh milk? Do you have plenty of fresh milk?
Of course we do. Anything you got, we got.
Gomer, what was all that third degree about just now? Tuna fish, sardines, fresh milk. I know you used to worry about all that when you had a cat to feed, but now you don't have a cat to feed. That's right, isn't it, Gomer? You don't have a cat to feed? Gomer, tell me you don't have a cat to feed.
Well, darn it all, Duke. I just couldn't leave her behind. I just couldn't.
Gomer, you gotta be out of your mind.
Sorry I had to transport you this way, Henrietta, but it was the only way. Now take a deep breath and get some fresh air in your lungs.
Gomer, Sergeant Carter is going to kill you. You know that, don't you? With his bare hands, he's going to squeeze the life out of you.
Well, I ain't too happy about the prospects, but golly, what are you going to do when a poor innocent critter curls herself around your leg and begs you not to leave her behind?
You can give her a good swift kick and tell her to get lost. That's what you can do.
Now, you don't mean that, Duke. You're a kind person and you don't mean that.
All right. Just how do you expect to keep a cat hidden aboard a ship for 3 weeks?
Well, I ain't quite got that planned out yet.
Oh, Peachy.
But it shouldn't be too much trouble. Such a big ship and such a little bitty cat.
Quick, get that thing back in the bag. Sergeant Carter's coming.
Oh, Lordy. Now, not a peep out of you, do you hear?
All right, you people, listen up. For the next day or so, we're going to be anchored here in the harbor until the rest of the convoy assembles. But that don't mean we're on holiday. Our work goes on as usual, so let's get settled down. Oh, one more thing. I got a few important words to say, so listen up real good. As sharp as we are on land, we gotta be twice as sharp on board this ship. So let's don't give the Navy any reason to think we're not. During the next 3 weeks, we're gonna be perfect in every way. Is that clear? How are we gonna be?
Perfect in every way.
I can hear you.
Perfect in every way.
Okay. I've had a lot of squads, a lot of platoons, on a lot of ships. And I have a perfect record. I don't want this trip to be any different. I don't want to see any... What's that? I heard something. Kind of squeaky. Was that you just now, Pyle?
Just now? Yes, sir, that was me. But see, I ain't used to the sea air yet.
Now, I don't want to see any rules broken. I don't want to see them even slightly bent. There it was again. That wasn't you this time, Pyle. Will you shut up? Get out of my face.
Sergeant, there's something I'd like to explain.
You're out to get me, aren't you?
Well, Sergeant?
If you want to destroy me, why don't you do it the quick way? Shoot me, push me overboard, but why this slow torture?
Sergeant,
You actually brought a cat aboard ship. You actually did it.
But, Sergeant, I was just...
Okay, Pyle. You did a real bright thing. Now I'm gonna do a bright thing.
What are you gonna do, Sergeant?
You want to know what I'm going to do, Pyle? I'm going to take this cat, I'm going up on deck, and I'm going to throw it overboard.
But, Sergeant Carter, you wouldn't.
Oh, wouldn't I? Just watch me.
But, Sergeant...
Now, hear this. All Marines fall in topside. All Marines fall in topside. On the double.
Okay, you saved by the bell this time. But when we get back from up there, this thing goes in the drink.
But you can't do that, Sergeant.
Pyle, are you telling me what I can and what I can't do?
No, sir, but...
Then secure this cat until we get back. And I mean secure it. I don't want it roaming all over the ship.
But, Sergeant...
Move it! Do it!
Henrietta, think what trouble it's got into?
And
And in case any of you lads think this is a pleasure cruise, let me straighten you out right here and now. You're here to work. You'll be expected to keep your own areas policed, and while on deck, you'll be expected to help police the decks. You will each take a turn in the galley. I'm the senior chief petty officer aboard this ship, and I'm in charge of this group. Obey the rules and regulations, keep your noses clean, and there won't be any trouble. But if one single rule is broken, you'll regret the day you ever stepped aboard this ship. So just keep that in... Wait a minute. What's this? What's this? What's this? Who belongs to this? Well?
It's mine, sir. I guess it fell out of my pocket.
Well, how did it get into your pocket?
Well, I bought it in town, and I didn't think there'd be any harm in having a little turtle. You see, it's just a souvenir, and I thought...
A turtle belongs in the ocean. Check your men a little more carefully, Sergeant. You know the rules about contraband. There will be no contraband aboard this ship, especially pets of any kind. If I ever find any, they'll be keeping that turtle company. I don't like contraband. Contraband goes overboard. Okay, now you all know how I feel about contraband. Tin Hut! Here's Smith!
Did you see what he did with my turtle? Did you see?
Oh, he's a doll.
Now, what's so terrible about a little turtle? A turtle. Now, what can a turtle do?
You heard him. It's contraband.
Poor Henrietta. She's as good as gone right now. If he do that with a little turtle, just think what he'll do with the cat. Looks like you ain't gonna get to do what you said you's gonna do, Sergeant.
Huh?
That there chief petty officer's gonna beat you to it. He's gonna do it for you. Throw Henrietta overboard.
Yeah, well, don't be so sure.
What do you mean, Sergeant? You heard what he said about contraband.
I heard. I know all about contraband. Nobody has to tell me about contraband. But I got something to say, too, you know.
Then you ain't on his side? You won't let him hurt Henrietta?
If I don't want him to hurt Henrietta, then he ain't gonna hurt Henrietta.
Sergeant Carter, you're a wonderful human being to be protecting the cat that way. A wonderful human being.
Knock it off, Pyle. It has nothing to do with the cat. I'm saying I'll make the decisions about what to do with my contraband.
Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you. You ain't only saving the cat, but you're protecting the mama.
Pyle, I told you it had nothing to do with... A mama?
Uh-huh. Henrietta's gonna have kittens.
No.
Gomer, you're kidding.
Well, I wouldn't kid about a thing like that. That's the reason I didn't have the heart to leave her behind. I couldn't leave her alone in that condition.
Well, why didn't you say something for crying out loud? Why keep it a secret?
Well, I knew how you felt about having one cat around. I was afraid to tell you that there might be 6 more.
6?
Possible. Ain't it exciting? Henrietta's gonna become a mama on the high seas.
You mean it could happen that soon?
It looks like, Sergeant.
Oh, that's just great. It ain't enough we have to hide one cat on a ship. Now we have to hide a whole maternity ward.
I can't believe it. Boy, you've pulled some dillies in your time, Gomer, but this time you've topped yourself. Bringing an expectant cat aboard a Navy ship. Oh, brother.
Sure am sorry I've caused so much trouble.
A lot of good that does. Gomer, quick, someone's coming, quick. Oh, never mind, it's only Sergeant Carter.
You sure gave me a scare there, Sergeant.
Wipe that smile off your face, Pyle. I ain't exactly in a jolly mood. Got to do something to get that cat off this bucket before it shoves off. If the Navy ever finds out...
How about sticking her in a basket and floating her to shore?
We're too far out. She could float the wrong way.
I sure hate the thought of putting Henrietta in the water.
Then come up with something. We got to do something.
Sergeant, quick, the CPO is coming.
Huh?
Henrietta, whatever you do, you keep that little mouth of yours closed.
Sergeant, I want to talk to you.
Sure.
No, what I want to say right here in front of the men.
Oh? Well, okay, what seems to be the problem?
Yesterday, I set down a set of rules and regulations which I expected to be followed to the T. Now, one of the things I mentioned was the subject of contraband. Unfortunately, it has come to my attention that one of your men has seen fit to ignore these regulations and has neglected to turn over to us contraband which he brought aboard this ship.
Yeah, look, I know all about it. I guess it's my fault for letting it happen in the first place, but before you do anything rash, let me explain.
I'm not interested in any explanation, Sergeant. You know we can't allow a thing like that aboard ship. A thing like this could affect the whole communication system.
Transistor radio?
Transistor radio contraband. I found it on one of your men up on deck. You better check your men, Sergeant. If they find any more of these, they'll have to be confiscated till after the operation.
Oh, yeah. I'll get on it right away.
Yeah, and you see that you do. That's contraband. And you know how I feel about contraband.
Oh, sure. We all know how you feel about contraband.
Boy, I thought Henrietta was a dead cat for sure that time. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you helping out, Sergeant. The cat lovers of America ought to hear about this.
Yeah, swell. In the meantime, we still got a cat on our hands.
Now hear this. All Marines topside for inspection at 1100. Full packing weapons.
All right, that's 15 minutes from now. Okay, you people move it. Pyle, secure that cat.
Right, Sergeant. I made a leash out of a couple of boot straps here. That ought to keep her from roaming.
All right, tie it down good.
All right, Henrietta. I'm going to have to anchor you down here for a while. There we go. Now, we'll figure out something, so you don't worry about a thing.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Dirty weapon.
Yes, sir.
What's wrong with you, Private? What's going on, Private?
He hasn't been well, sir. Ever since he boarded ship, he's been having these attacks. I think it's just nerves, sir.
Perhaps you better get him to sick bay.
Aye, sir. Right away, sir.
I think if I could just go down to my bunk for a bit, I'd be all right.
Very well. Dismissed.
Sure it's the only way, Sergeant?
Positive. We can't go on.
Sergeant, you know what'll happen. Why, that CPO...
Look, what do you want me to do? Now, we tried to figure a way out, and we couldn't come up with it. I ain't sticking my neck out no more.
She's really secured good this time. I doubled up on the boot straps and put in an extra knot.
Hide and seek game's over with, Pyle.
Beg your pardon?
We're gonna turn the cat in.
Sergeant Carter.
It's the only way. If that CPO finds her roaming around down there, she's done for. This way, if we turn her in and tell him about the kittens, who knows? He may show a little mercy.
Well, how can we be sure?
We can't be, but if they ever found out I knew about that cat, I'll have my head handed to me. So I'm gonna make out like I just found her roaming around and I'm turning her in.
There's still time to think of another way.
Pyle, it's the cat's neck or mine. Now, who do you think's gonna win?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right, now get on there and bring her up here.
Little mama today. That CPO's gonna take... Henrietta? Oh, Lord, she's gone and got unsecured again. Henrietta! Henrietta! Please be here! Henrietta!
Sergeant, maybe if we went to the captain, right to the head man.
No.
Sergeant Carter, I got some bad news, some real bad news.
The cat's gone.
I don't know how it could have happened. I had her tied up real good this time. I really did. You want to know what I think? I think that their CPO must have found her.
Now, we can't be sure of that. Let's spread out and start looking for her. You go aft, you go forward, and you go down the hole.
Hey, Sergeant, look. He threw Henrietta overboard, just like that. He really did. What a mean thing! What a mean thing to do! Hey, what are you doing? Cat overboard! Cat overboard!
What's this? Sergeant, what's going on here? Who jumped overboard?
As if you didn't know all about it.
What are you talking about?
Boy, I've seen some cold cookies in my time, but you take the prize. Huh? Couldn't you have said something first? Maybe we could have figured something out. Boy, you're all heart, Chief.
What are you talking about? I just...
It wasn't what we thought at all. It was just a bunch of old magazines.
Hey, he's right. Just old magazines. True love stories, real romances, Passion Digest. Hey, are these your magazines?
Well, what if they are? Why'd you have to jump in after them?
And after you're through with them, you want to get rid of the evidence, huh? Real romances, Passion Digest.
Look, what I choose to read is nobody's business. Especially a bunch of Marines who are still wet behind the ears.
Henrietta! Boy, am I glad to see you. I thought for sure you was done for.
What's this? What's this? Do you know what that is? That's contraband. Contraband.
Look, buddy, let's not get all hot on
Look, you heard what I said about pets aboard the ship, about contraband of any kind, and what I'd do if I found any.
But you just can't do what you said you's gonna do. There's something about this cat that you ought to know.
Look, I know it's a cat. It's contraband. That's all I have to know.
Please, you can't throw overboard, please. This ain't no ordinary cat. This is a mama to be cat. And from the looks of her, I think the time is just about here. I think all this excitement's bringing it on.
What?
That's right. A mama to be cat any minute now. Please, you can't.
Take your hands off me, Private.
Please don't do it, please.
Look, pal, save your breath. Talking to him's like talking to a rock. I'll bet you spend your spare time pulling wings off flies. Go on, you got your contraband. Throw the cat overboard, make yourself a big hero.
Don't you tell me what to do, mister. If I want to throw this cat overboard, I'll throw him overboard when I want to throw him overboard. And no gyring. Sergeant's going to tell me what to do. So happens I got something better to do with this cat right now.
Yeah, like what?
Like taking her down to the sick bay. I got a couple of raw pharmacist mates down there could use a little extra experience. And maybe helping deliver these kittens, it'd be good training for them.
I'll be.
Just when you think you got a guy pegged, he double-crosses you. How did you like that?
Deep down, he's a good person just like you are, Sergeant. He wouldn't want to hurt no poor defenseless creature.
Look, don't stand there dripping all over the deck. Get some dry clothes on.
He may be a good person, Sergeant, but you're a warm, wonderful person.
Move it, Pyle.
Right, Sergeant. And, Sergeant, if Henrietta has any male cats, I want to name the first one after you. I'm going to name her firstborn Vincent. On account of you're a warm, wonderful person.
Will you get out of here? What is this? What are you, on a cruise? Break it out!
Just a minute. Sergeant, come on over here. There's something you ought to see.
Pyle, there's work to be done. What are you doing just standing around?
Just look in there. Huh? There they are. Henrietta and her young'un. Pharmacist mate here found a home for them.
Yeah.
See this one here? This is the one I named after you. This is Vincent. Know why I call him that? Because he's so nice and warm and wonderful and good and trustworthy and honest.
Okay, it's open for a buck.
Okay, Vince, I'm in.
I'll see it.
Come on, Carter, deal him like you knew how.
Listen to the Maharaja of the mess hall. How many cards?
I'll take 3.
Give me 2.
And I'll play these. Cost you 2 clams to see him.
Okay, Vince, I'll keep you honest.
That's it for me.
Read 'em and weep, sucker. 2 pair, aces and jacks.
Not so fast, sport. I got 15. What? 3 little 5s.
Looks like you outdrew your side.
You should only have the luck with your cow.
I don't know about my child, but I just took your goose.
Suppose we put a little bet on it.
A bet? Who said anything about a bet?
Well, you're the big genius that took some goof up and had him turn out a meal. There's no reason you can't do the same thing with Pyle, is there?
Pyle? Cook a meal?
Hey, he's pretty big with the talk, ain't he, Boyle, huh? But when it comes to putting up the dough...
Okay, I'll do it. I did it with one knucklehead, I can do it with another.
You mean you're gonna take Pyle on?
Yeah, I'll take him on, just to prove something to you, Vince.
Okay, how much?
You tell me.
Well, since you're loaded down with tact, shall we say 50?
All right, let's say 50. But remember, I'm not promising Pyle will be the head chef at the Waldorf. He'll just be able to prepare a meal by himself.
You heard him. $50. By this time next week, Pyle cooks a meal all on his own, right, Hacker?
Right, yeah.
Oh, and just one more little thing. About that meal, Hacker, we have to live after it.
The mess hall? You mean you're putting me on KP?
Oh, no, Pyle. This has nothing to do with KP. You see, there's this new regulation that all Marines have to be able to double up in different jobs, you know, in case of emergency. So, knowing how you love to eat, I thought you'd be perfect for the kitchen.
Well, does this mean that I'm going to be over there all the time? You're not trying to get rid of me, are you, Sergeant?
Oh, I know, Pyle. How could you think such a thing? This is just a temporary assignment for a week. And what a great opportunity.
Really?
Oh, sure. Everybody wanted the job, but Sergeant Hacker asked for you special.
He did? Well, I sure hope I'm worthy of the job.
Oh, you are, Pyle. You are. You're going to be just great. The fact is, I've got every confidence in the world in you.
Well, thank you, Sergeant. Knowing that you feel that way about it, I'm going to go over there to the mess hall tomorrow and give it everything I've got.
Good. Good boy. You will? Well, remember, Pyle, we're all only human, and sometimes even the best of us make mistakes.
Don't you worry, Sergeant. I won't let you down.
Yeah, well, whatever you do, Pyle, just be yourself, and everything will work out fine.
How do you mean that?
I mean, don't do anything to change the way you are. I mean, just be yourself.
All right, snap it up in there now. We're a little behind this morning. Pyle? Where's Pyle? He was here a minute ago. Pyle?
Here I am, Sergeant. I had to go change my hat. The other one was kind of loose, and I didn't want it to fall into breakfast.
Yeah, fine, Pyle, fine. But stay close. Stay real close. Now, you're my #1 assistant, and I'm counting on you.
Well, I sure appreciate that, Sergeant. And believe me, I'm going to do my best. I mean, you won't be sorry for all the faith and trust you have in me.
Yeah, sure, Pyle. Now, let's see. I want to put you on something nice and simple. There it is. Now, since this is your first day in the kitchen, I'm going to put you on oatmeal.
You mean I'm going to get to make the oatmeal? I ain't had a recipe for oatmeal.
No, Pyle, no. The oatmeal's all ready to go. You see, the ingredients are all in there cooking away. Now, all you have to do is stir. Now, watch me. Now, you see, that's all there is to it. You just make circles. Nice, round circles. Now, why don't you try it, Pyle?
Okay. Like this?
That's perfect. Just perfect. I've never seen anybody take the stirring just like that.
Thank you, Sergeant. It's just one question, though. Is it okay if I change directions and go like this?
Sure, anything you want, Pyle. Backwards, forwards, sideways.
Can I make numbers and X's like a figure 8?
Sure, Pyle. X's, numbers, doodles, anything you want. But just keep stirring. Now, I'm going to go out and check on the steam tables. If you need anything, just call me.
Right, Sergeant. You go about your business and just leave the oatmeal to me. Say, that's a pretty heavy load you got there. Let me give you some help. There you go. Boy, this is way too big a bundle for any one man.
Oatmeal! Pyle! The oatmeal! Pyle!
You calling me, Sergeant? I was just helping. Shazam! Oatmeal is boiling over.
Yeah, sure it's boiling over. Why is it boiling over? Because you stopped stirring. You did stop stirring, didn't you, Pyle?
Yes, Sergeant, I got no excuse. I left my post. Oh, I feel just terrible.
Yeah, well, get him up. Just get him up.
I will, Sergeant. I'll get him up. Right away, right away. You just wait right here.
Wow, what happened here?
What does it look like?
Well, we better do something fast, Sergeant. The guys are lining up for chow. What are we going to do about the oatmeal?
Yeah, well, we just have to give them what's left. That's all. Get a rag and start cleaning it up. And the rest of you, move around there. Okay, come on. Keep it moving there.
I mean, that's it? Come on. Stop with the jokes. Put something in there.
Come on, Carter. Move it along. You're holding up the line.
What do you mean? How are you guys putting out food for canaries? You feed Marines. Come on, let's go.
Look, Carter, you got more than enough. Your eyes are bigger than your stomach. Besides, we've been wasting too much food in this mess hall, and I'm calling a halt to it.
Hold on, Hacker. What are you talking about? There's nothing in there.
Waste not, want not. Now move it.
I don't know. There's something phony going on around here.
Hey, Sergeant Hacker, I finished all my mopping. I cleaned up the whole mess. Hey, Sergeant Carter. Boy, when oatmeal boils over, it really boils over.
Yeah, well, okay, Pyle. Come on, let's
get... I should have known. It boiled over? We're out of oatmeal because of you, huh, Pyle?
That's right, Sergeant. It's all my fault. I take full responsibility. It's just like I was telling Sergeant Hacker.
Yeah, okay, Pyle. Come on, back in the kitchen. We got a lot of work to do. Fill up those salt shakers, huh?
Right, Sergeant. Sure hope you enjoy the oatmeal, Sergeant, or what's left of it.
Oh, I will. I'll enjoy it like it was a $50 dinner.
Okay now, Pyle, like I told you, we're gonna forget all about what happened at breakfast. We're gonna start fresh. We're gonna pretend that you've never been in this kitchen before, all right?
Okay, Sergeant.
Okay. Now, you see, what we gotta do, Pyle, is start from the beginning. We gotta get you acquainted with all the fundamentals here. And by the time we're through, you're gonna be able to cook a meal all by yourself.
Golly, Sergeant. Me cook a meal by myself? Well, I appreciate your faith in me, Sergeant, but I don't think I could ever do that.
Confidence, Pyle, confidence. Now, let's take a reading on the stuff we're gonna be using, all right? Well, now, first of all, this is a stove.
Oh, I already knew that.
Well, it never hurts to be sure. Now, repeat after me. Skillet.
Skillet.
Good. Chopping block.
Chopping block.
Good. Soup ladle.
Soup ladle.
Potato masher.
Potato masher.
Meat cleaver.
Meat cleaver.
Good. I think that's about enough for a start. Now, let's review what we learned, shall we?
Skillet.
Good.
Soup ladle.
Very good.
You just told me. Now, don't tell me.
Me.
Oh, I know. No, meat axe.
No, it's not a meat axe. It's a meat cleaver. A cleaver. Now, pay attention, Pyle. You'll never learn to cook. Now, get this through your head.
What's going on here? That cleaver hacker, what are you trying to do? Just because he ruined the oatmeal?
Knock it off, Carter.
Sergeant Hacker here was giving me a cooking lesson.
Yeah. Well, that'll be all for the first lesson, Pyle. Why don't you go take a break?
Well, thank you, Sergeant. And I sure am enjoying the course. You just call me when you get ready for another class. Chopping block, meat cleaver.
Come on, Charlie. Stop kidding around. Why don't you admit he's impossible and toss in the dish towel?
I got till Friday. That's all I'm saying.
You're beginning to get the problem, buddy boy? You still think all Pyle needs is the right approach, huh?
I got till Friday. That's all I'm saying.
Well, just remember, Hacker, by Friday, he fixes that meal and you're out to 50.
Just don't you worry about him. I still say all he needs is a little patience and encouragement, which is what I'm giving him, and he'll be fine, just fine.
Well, look who they got serving up the noon chow.
Hey, Sergeant Carter, Corporal Ball, would you care for some mashed potatoes?
Oh, sure, Pyle. Load me up.
I'll take some too, Pyle.
Hey, Sergeant, guess what?
Huh? What's the matter, Pyle?
I made these mashed potatoes myself.
You did? No kidding. Hey, boy, you hear that? Pyle made the mashed potatoes.
Shh. I don't want the other cooks to hear. They'll think I'm pushing myself.
Oh, sure, Pyle, sure. They look delicious. You did a great job.
Thank you, Sergeant. I can hardly wait for you to taste them.
Yeah, well, we can hardly wait either. Right, Boyle?
Let me know what you think. If you want seconds, there's plenty more.
Hey, Vince, you think Pyle really made these potatoes by himself?
I don't know, but here's where we'd find out. He made them. Hacker! Oh, Mess Sergeant Hacker!
What do you want, Carter? I'm busy.
I understand that Pyle made these potatoes all by himself.
That's right. Pyle made them. So what? What's wrong with them?
Well, Boyle and me was just wondering about the recipe. Did he use cement or wallpaper paste?
I had everything laid out for him. I even stood over him while he mixed the ingredients. How could he? Wait a minute. I remember. I went back to the reefer for some more milk. But I couldn't have been gone more than 45 seconds. He couldn't have.
Oh, yes, he could, Hacker. Leaving Pyle alone for 45 seconds is inviting disaster.
No, it's impossible. It can't be.
You know, Hacker, I almost feel sorry for you. If I was a real nice guy, I'd let you off the hook and call off the bet. But I'm not a nice guy, and you got a big mouth, so the bet's still on. He cooks the meal on Friday, which is tomorrow, is it not? Yes, sir, Boyle, this is it. D-Day, dinner day. 50 big ones coming my way. 5-0.
You sound awful confident, Sarge. You that positive Pyle's gonna blow the meal?
I'll tell you how positive I am. I'm gonna call that fancy French joint in town, La Petite Chateau, and make a dinner reservation for Bunny and me. We got a lot of celebrating to do.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Sergeant. We just received word from the airstrip that Colonel Driscoll arrived from San Francisco, and we'll be eating at your mess this noon. I just thought you ought to know.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll cook up some T-bone steaks, a couple of baked potatoes.
No, nothing special. What are you serving the men?
Well, the menu calls for salmon croquettes, sir, but I'm sure that you and the Colonel would like something a little more elaborate.
I'm afraid you don't understand, Sergeant. Colonel Driscoll makes it a policy to always eat what the men are eating, so salmon croquettes will be fine.
But, sir, the croquettes, you see, I'm not sure about that. What I mean is, they may not come out the way we...
I know this is short notice, Sergeant, but whatever you have will be fine. That'll be all.
Aye, sir. Hey, Carter, it's all over. The bet's off. I gotta get over the mess hall.
Huh?
Colonel Driscoll's on the post. He's gonna eat at our mess hall.
Colonel Driscoll's gonna eat Pyle's cooking? That's very funny.
Oh, yeah? How funny is it gonna be when he tastes the cooking and orders an investigation?
What do you mean?
Look, there's gotta be an investigation. The guys, they just beef a little. But the Colonel will order an investigation.
Huh?
Can't you see it's gotta come out that miserable meal is the result of a personal bet between you and me? You'll be in as much trouble as me.
So what do you suggest?
Our only hope is to get over there and doctor up Pyle's meal before the Colonel shows.
Well, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What if Pyle's cooking can't be fixed?
I don't know. We'll do something. We'll send out for Chinese. Vince, look.
We're too late. It's Colonel Driscoll with Colonel Gray.
Yeah, and look who's carrying their trays. Oh, somebody trip him. Somebody trip him, please. Oh, he's serving the meal. Vince, I can't watch anymore.
Pyle's handing out the napkins. Driscoll's picking up his fork. He's taking a bite. I can't watch either.
15 years. 15 years. I've been a mess sergeant for 15 years. And now to see it all go down the drain.
Easy, Charlie, easy.
You take it easy. All those years serving up chow in jungles, on beachheads, during air raids, in war and peace. All those years. And not once was I ever called up for a bad meal. And now this is the way it all ends. And it's all your fault.
My fault? My fault? Who opened his big mouth first?
Who wanted Pyle to cook a meal?
Yeah, but if you had to give me that static about him...
knock it off.
What do you mean, knock it off?
Sergeant Hacker, Sergeant Carter, the Colonel would like to see you both right away.
Sergeant Hacker reporting as ordered, sir.
Sergeant Carter reporting his order, sir.
At ease. I understand that you two men have had something to do with the preparation of this meal.
Yes, sir. We both share in the responsibility.
Good. Because I just want to say that is the best pork rinds and collard greens I have ever eaten. Not to mention those black-eyed peas, their grits and gravy, and that cherry cobbler. Well, boys, I haven't tasted cooking like that since I was a young'un back home in Georgia.
Pleasant surprise, Sergeant. I understood today's menu called for salmon croquettes.
Well, I guess I'm to blame for that, sir. You see, Sergeant, when I started fixing them salmon croquettes, I couldn't make heads nor tails out of that recipe. And I knew I couldn't let the fellers go away without eating. So I just got to thinking, and shazam, it come to me.
Shazam?
See, I remembered those Sunday church suppers back home and how I used to watch my Aunt Martha prepare all the fixings. So I just put my memory to work, and this is it.
Well, however you did it, son, it certainly was a pleasant surprise. And you deserve a lot of credit.
Well, thank you, Colonel, but I can't claim all the credit, because if it hadn't been for Sergeant Hacker here and Sergeant Carter, I never could have done it.
Well, now, hold it, son. You lost me there. What do you mean?
Well, to be honest with you, Colonel, up to now I've been making a real mess here in the mess hall. But Sergeant Hacker here was just as patient as he could be, hardly ever raised his voice to me. All he was worried about was me making a grade. Isn't that right, Sergeant Hacker?
Yeah, Pyle, that's right.
And as for Sergeant Carter here, when I told him how bad things was going over here in the mess hall, he told me not to worry at all, said it was okay if I ruined a few meals. He said the only way to learn was by making mistakes. So you see, they deserve most of the credit. With faith and confidence like that, how could I go wrong?
Well, apparently you two sergeants have a real talent for handling men, and that's good.
Thank you, sir. All we can do is try. Give it our best.
But, of course, with a bright boy like Pyle here to work with, you really have no problems.
Yes, sir. He's one of my favorites. Bright as they come. Only wish I had more like him.
Well, Vince, all in all, I'd say we've been pretty lucky. Pretty lucky.
Yeah, Pyle really came through for us, didn't he?
He sure did. And speaking of coming through, how about paying off?
Paying off? What do you mean?
Well, the bet that Pyle could manage a meal all by himself.
Are you kidding? You called it off, don't you remember?
Oh, I called it off when I thought that I'd have to throw his meal out and cook one myself. But I didn't have to. Pyle's meal worked, so pay up.
So it worked. That's no credit to you. That's cooking he learned from his Aunt Martha. If I was going to pay anybody, I'd pay his Aunt Martha.
Oh, Vince, be fair.
Be fair, you be fair. You cancel out, the bet's off. Come on.
Well, all right. Maybe you're right.
You're darn right I'm right.
There, you got me on a technicality.
Yeah.
But you got to admit one thing. What I started out to prove. That if you show even a knucklehead like Pyle a little patience and understanding, he'll come through for you.
I don't know.
What do you mean? He did such a good job with lunch, I told him to go ahead and make dinner.
You did? He's making dinner?
Right now. Tact, Vince, tact. Just show him a little confidence and he'll come through. Why don't you admit it?
I don't know.
Admit it, admit it. All he needs...
What's that? I don't know. Thunder?
Could be a sonic boom.
Oh, no, it sounded closer, like it came from down around the mess hall.
The mess hall?
Sergeant Hacker, I got bad news about your stove.
Admit what, Hacker? What should I admit, huh? What? What should I admit, huh?
Big plans today, huh, Sarge?
Big plans.
This doesn't sound like your ordinary average leave it to chance day to me.
It ain't, McCabe. I ain't leaving nothing to chance this time. I've been trying to get a whole day, an entire Saturday with this girl ever since I met her. And I'm gonna make every minute count. You wanna hear the battle plan?
Go.
Okay. I leave here at exactly 1200 hours. I drive to her house. At exactly 12:33 hours, I arrive on target and squeeze off 2 fast bursts on her doorbell. You still with me?
Go, man.
At 12:34 hours, we will have rendezvoused, and the convoy will proceed to Half Moon Beach.
The maneuver area?
Nothing so crude. This is a long-range objective. No. On the beach, it'll be strictly sand, sun, and... Oh, Sergeant, I think tattoos are so manly. But then comes 1700, the cocktail hour. In the darkness of the lounge of the Purple Pagoda, we'll sit, sipping exotic tropical drinks, gazing romantically into each other's eyes,
What about those scratchy, wet bathing suits?
That's why I picked the Purple Pagoda. I know the bartender there. He let us change in the restroom.
You really do go highline.
Yeah. After a sumptuous meal at Madame Wu's, we'll drive out to Breaker's Point. And there we'll sit, under the moonlight, her head on my shoulder. Do I dare go on?
Big plans.
Big plans.
You got a swinging Saturday afternoon plan, Gomer?
Yeah, you go to the public library and feed the pigeons?
Oh, no, nothing like that. What I'm going to do is go to the park and have my picture made alongside the Civil War cannon.
Picture alongside a cannon? What for?
It'll match up real good with the one that I had made alongside the cannon down in San Diego. And you know what I'm going to do? Add it to my collection of cannon pictures.
You have a collection of cannon pictures?
Didn't I ever tell you about that? You know what my favorite is?
What?
A howitzer from World War I.
That's wonderful, Gome. Is that it? You take a picture with a cannon and that's the day?
Oh, no. I wait around till dark. Nighttime's the most exciting time of all.
Oh, what do you got planned then, Gome?
Well, just before dark, I go and get myself a cream soda and a wrapped sandwich, and I go to that park in the middle of the square, and I sit down on a bench. Now, you got to get there early, or otherwise you'll miss it.
Miss what?
The street lights.
What about them?
They turn them on.
So?
So you're there when the lights come on. You can make a wish.
Is that a big deal?
Oh, it's a sight to behold. It's a whole lot different from back home. In Mayberry, when it gets dark, the only light on Main Street you can see is the vigil lamp in Eldon Yekel's funeral parlor.
Sounds like a full day, Gomer.
What a dirty break. What a mean, dirty break.
What's the matter, Frank?
Oh, they just slapped me on a special guard detail, and I was counting on this weekend liberty.
That's a shame, Frank.
Yeah. You know, today, I was going to take Lois and the baby in for his checkup, get in a bunch of groceries, and I don't know what all.
That is a mean break. Maybe I could help out since I'm going in and everything.
Nah, Gomer, what could you do?
Well, I could pick up the groceries for you. I'd be glad to do that.
No, I couldn't put you out like that.
Oh, it won't put me out, not a bit. I'd be glad to do it, Frank. Honest, I would.
You mean that, Gomer?
I do. I really do.
Yeah, I sure would be obliged. Hey, look, I'll call Lois and tell her you're coming. And here's some money. And here's her grocery list. And now, you sure, Gomer?
Positive.
Hey, thanks, Gomer. Thanks a lot.
Hey, that's nice of you, buddy.
Well.
Hey, what about your cannon picture?
Oh, I can take that in the evening just as well. I've got a flash attachment on my camera. Don't believe I've got a picture with a cannon at night.
Hey, Pyle!
Hey, Sergeant Carter.
What's the matter, Pyle? Ain't the chow in the mess all good enough for you?
Oh, no, it ain't that at all.
Then what are you doing with all them groceries?
Oh, these are for Frank Meade's wife and little baby. You see, he got stuck with guard duty, so I offered to do this for him. It's just a neighborly gesture's all.
Where they live?
Out that way somewheres. It's near the pumping station.
You mean you're gonna walk all the way out there?
I don't mind. This ain't near as heavy as a field pack.
Get in. I'll give you a lift.
Are you sure?
Get in.
I don't want to put you out.
Get in.
Uh-oh, you missed the light again.
Yeah.
This sure is nice of you to do this for me, Sergeant.
It's okay, Pyle.
Hey, Sergeant, if you haven't got nothing better to do later on, maybe we could meet and see the sights together.
I don't think so, Pyle.
Have you got plans?
Big plans. Big plans. Pyle, are you sure you got the right address?
Maybe this is the one, Sergeant. It looks like what Frank said.
This better be it, Pyle. You cost me 20 minutes already.
Oh, I'm sure this is the one. See, there's a playpen out in front, and that's always a sign that there's a baby in the house.
Well, move it. I told you I was in a hurry. Let's go.
I'm much obliged to you, Sergeant.
I'm going with you. I gotta call my girl.
Oh, are you meeting a girl?
Not a girl, the girl. Come on, come on, come on.
Oh, Gomer, it's you.
Hey, ma'am.
This was so nice of you. Come on in.
Glad to do it. This is Sergeant Carter. He's the sergeant over Frank and me. Say hey to Mrs. Frank Meade, Sergeant.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry about all this noise, but Frank Jr. is teething.
That's okay. May I use your phone?
Oh, sure. Help yourself.
Thank you.
Oh, now, what did I do with his bottle?
What would you like me to do with these, ma'am?
Oh, would you just bring those in the kitchen for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Bernice. How'd you guess? Now, look, baby, I'm sorry I'm late like this, but something came up.
It's just as well. As a matter of fact, I'm still fixing my hair.
You're getting all prettied up for Vince, huh? I'd be there right now, but I gave one of my men a lift, and we had a hard time finding the place.
Honey, we got the whole beautiful day ahead of us.
Oh, wow, I can hardly wait.
Well, I'll see you in a little while, you silly sergeant, you.
You're really looking forward to it, huh, baby? Well, I got big plans for today. Big, big, big plans.
Hey, Frank Jr. Hey, little feller. Look at him grin at me.
That's gas, Gomer.
Huh?
When they grin, it's gas.
Oh, no, that's a happy grin. That ain't a guy's grin.
Oh, I'm going to be late to that doctor's office. I just know it.
How far is it from here?
Well, I have to take 2 buses, and if I miss my connection, he'll be gone. Because it's Saturday afternoon. Oh, why do they have to pick this weekend to keep Frank at the base? I'll never make it.
Will I hurry? Honey, when you hang up, head for the door because I don't want to ring twice.
What you need somebody to drive you to the doctor's office.
Do you have a car?
No, but he does, don't you, Sergeant?
What? Don't I what, huh?
Have a car to drive Miss Lois to the doctor in.
Oh, Sergeant, would you? I'd be so grateful to you.
Oh, well,
It's real nice of you, Sergeant, real nice.
But
An act of mercy is what it is.
Oh, it certainly is.
A plain act of mercy. Sergeant, you're a kindly man.
I hope I'm not interfering with any plans, Sergeant.
Well, I do have some...
Oh, he don't mind, ma'am. Sergeant Carter'd rather perform an act of mercy than anything, hadn't you, Sergeant?
But I gotta make a phone call first.
She don't mind, do you, Lois?
Oh, no. Go right ahead, please.
Sergeant, the doctor's office closes on Saturday afternoon, so don't talk too long, will you?
Bernice? Hi, baby, me again. Something just came up.
You know something? I've seen more of this town in the last half hour than I have in the whole 24-hour pies.
I'm awfully sorry, Sergeant. I had no idea they were tarrying up Front Street. But I can't thank you enough, really.
Sure, okay.
Thank you kindly, Sergeant. I sure appreciate it for her. So I'll see you.
I'm not going anywhere yet, Pyle. I gotta make another phone call.
Oh, well, in that case, then you can help me with some of this baby truck.
May I help you?
No, ma'am. We're friends of Miss Meade's. Sergeant here drove her over.
Oh, I see.
Pardon me, miss. Could I use your phone? It's urgent.
Is it a local call?
Just barely.
Help yourself.
You know, Sergeant, you could have stopped and picked up your girlfriend when we went by her house.
Oh, that would have been great. She might even have invited you all along on the date with us.
Oh, I don't think Lois would want to with the baby. But say, if I know where you're going to be later on, then
Bernice? Hi, honey. This is Vince again. Baby, you're not going to believe this when I tell you.
Well, honey, listen. If you don't get here soon, we won't have much time to do anything.
Just sit tight, honey. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Okay, Pyle, you're on your own.
Thanks again, Sergeant. That's Sergeant Carter. He's the most thoughtful person.
Oh?
That's the third time he's called that girl to tell her he's going to be late. That's the kind of thoughtful person he is. What'd the doctor say about Frank Jr.?
He's fine. It told me to put him on solid food.
Do you hear that, Frank Jr.? Why, in no time at all, you're going to be eating hamburgers and hot dogs. Hey, Sergeant. What are you doing still here? I thought you'd gone to your date. Let me have a look at her.
Keep away from it, Pyle. Just stay away.
I used to work in a filling station before I was a Marine. My experience could be a blessing at a time like this. Now give her a try. A wire jiggle loose on your distributor. Well, have a good time. Where do you think the bus stop is?
Get in, get in, get in.
Excuse me. This is really nice. Couldn't be better if we had our own private chauffeur. Sergeant, too bad you don't have a telephone in your car like one of them radio taxi cabs. Wouldn't that be a lick?
Oh, Frankie, please. Gomer, I can't find my key.
Here, let me take the little feller, ma'am. Well, now, what you making that funny face for? What's the matter? Why are you crying?
Oh, this stupid lock.
Here, let me try, ma'am. Sergeant, take Frank, would you?
Huh? But I don't know the first thing about... I didn't do anything to him.
Well, I never.
He must like you, Sergeant.
Ain't that the limit? Here, there it goes.
Here, Pyle, take him.
Just feel him, put this down. No two ways about it, Sergeant. This little fella really likes you.
But I gotta make a phone call.
I'll take him. Come on, darling.
Sergeant, give me your car keys. Maybe that'll quiet him down.
All right, give him to me.
My goodness. Wally, the fella I worked for back home, used to say that if children and dogs liked you, you was all right. How are you with dogs, Sergeant?
Great. Bernice? Hi, honey, it's...
Know who it is, and I know what you're calling about. I've been sitting around here all the time.
Honey.
You did? Why don't you?
Honey, I know there've been a lot of delays, but after I talked to you, the car broke down. Yeah. And Pyle fixed it for me, so I couldn't just leave him standing there with Lois.
Just great. Making a date and then running all over town with another girl.
Wait a minute. Lois ain't a girl. She's a married woman.
A married woman?
Look, if you'll just stop yelling and listen a minute. Listen. I told you I picked this fella up downtown and it wasn't gonna take me more than 5 minutes to drop him off.
That's awful. Just awful.
Well, that's just too bad. That's the way you want it. That's the way you got it. Give it a kid.
I appreciate everything. Well, I have to go get his dinner ready. Sergeant, I'm awfully sorry about your date.
Not your fault. Operator, give me the police. It's an emergency. Yeah. How do you like that, Miss Police? I want to report a stolen car, and I know exactly who stole it. Private Gomer Pyle. Never mind.
Come on in, ma'am. Bernice, this here's Lois Meade, and that there's your Sergeant Carter, and that's little Frankie like I was telling you about. Bernice here was getting mighty upset because Sergeant Carter was so late for his date.
Oh, don't be angry with him. He's been so wonderful. I don't know what I would have done without him.
Me neither. Or little Frankie there taking us to the doctor and all. I hope you didn't mind that I borrowed your car, but you was so wore out from all you'd done today that I hated to wake you. See there, ma'am? It's just like I described it to you, right? And you thought he was out gallivanting with some gal. Not our Sergeant Carter. Why, he's performed so many acts of mercy this day, he's made himself a place in heaven for sure. You want to know what all he's done? I'll tell you what all he's done. First of all, he helped me bring home the groceries. Second, he took the baby and Miss Lois to the doctor. And third, when that young woman quit crying, he took that baby and...
Well, I sure hate to eat and run like this, Lois. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's all right. You and the sergeant get onto that movie.
Yeah, you don't want to get in the middle of a movie. I'll take care of KP.
Yeah, I see you at Reveille, Pyle.
Right, Sergeant. When that old bugle goes, da-da-da-da-da-da. Boy, that's a good Marine for you. Wakes up right at Reveille.
Take the baby, Vince.
No, I wouldn't think of keeping you from the movie. You've missed too much already. You go ahead.
Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah?
You don't have to miss any of the movie. We can all go to a drive-in and take little Frankie with us.
Hey, that's a wonderful idea, Gomer. Take the baby, Vince.
Oh, Sergeant, you got the magic touch. The magic touch.
Let's move it. Let's move it.
Say, you know something, Gomer? This will be the first time I've ever gone to a drive-in movie with a Marine and felt perfectly safe.
You might say he's got the situation well in hand. What would you like to do tonight, Luann?
Whatever pleases you. It's just fine with me.
Well, I got this clipping out of the paper. Doings around town, and it seems they're having this special one-man art show tonight, only he don't use regular paint. He makes all of his pictures with kidney beans, and he shoots them on with a slingshot.
That sounds fascinating. Why, it might be nice to... Hey, isn't that Sergeant Carter's girlfriend over the aisle?
Yeah, it sure is. Miss Bonnie! Hey!
Oh, hi, Miss Bonnie. Hi, Gomer. Luann, how are you? Just fine.
What are you doing out here?
Waiting for your sergeant. Have you seen him anywhere? He was supposed to meet me here at 7. It's almost past.
Well, I'm sure it's not his fault. Something terrible important must have come up. You know, he's got a lot of responsibility in that job of his.
I hope you never acquire the type of job that makes you late for dates. You mean Gomer's always on time?
He's most punctual. Never made me wait one single second.
Oh, I wish Vince was like that. He's always late. Well, I spend more time hanging around street corners than the Salvation Army.
Why don't you come inside and have a cup of coffee with us till he gets here?
I don't want to be a bother.
Well, it's no bother at all. It's a pleasure.
Oh.
Is this table all right?
Okay for me.
A coffee, please. Can I take your coat?
Thank you.
You sure that won't be too drafty on you?
Oh, no, this is just fine.
Where the heck is she?
Are you comfortable, Luann? Or had you rather move to a booth?
Oh, this is just fine, Gomer.
Is there anything else you'd like, Miss Bunny?
Oh, nothing, no.
I thought we were going to meet out front. Come on, let's go.
Not even a hello first?
Huh? Oh, hello. And goodbye. Come on, let's go. I don't know what you're doing here in the first place. I asked you to wait out front.
But Miss Bundy was out front, Sergeant. We invited her in.
Huh, well, thanks a heap. What are you standing up for? The movie starts in 20 minutes. Come on.
Right away, Lord and Master.
Say, maybe you two would like to go with us.
No. They probably got plans of their own. Haven't you, Pyle?
Well, we was thinking of going to an art show, but it wasn't nothing definite. Would you like to go to the movies, Luann?
Well, would you like to go?
It's up to you. I just want you to have a good time.
Well,
What's the big idea?
He was very nice to me. The least we can do is ask them along. What do you say?
Well, what do you think?
well, what do you think?
I don't care.
Neither do I.
No sense in you two quarreling about it. Maybe some other time.
But I think we'd like to go, Sergeant. It'd be real nice being with you two, wouldn't it, Luann?
Uh-huh.
Well, I just pay for the coffee and I'll be right back. Excuse me.
It's not enough I'm with that knucklehead all day. I gotta be with him all night, too.
Oh, it's just to sit in a dark movie, Vince. What's that?
Yeah, well, I suppose.
It'll be fine.
I just hope it's dark enough to lose him.
All set. Can I help you with your coat, Luann?
Thank you.
Car's out front. What are you doing back there?
What's the difference? Just drive. And keep both hands on the wheel. Where's Gomer?
I gave him the slip at the popcorn stand.
Vince. You're terrible.
Terrible? What's so terrible? We want to be alone, don't we? Well, don't we?
Well,
So, old Doc Carter fixed it.
There they are.
excuse me.
Excuse me. I didn't think we could find you in the dark. Miss Bunny, I brought you some fresh buttered popcorn.
Thanks, Gomer.
Is there anything else you'd like me to get for you? Something to drink?
Oh, no, that's all right. When I want something, Vince will get it for me.
If you wanted something, why didn't you get it when you came in?
Well, how about you, Sergeant?
No.
If there's anything you want, just remember I'm sitting right here behind you. Oh, look, it's a Porky Pig cartoon. I just love the way he goes, that's all, folks. Boy, didn't that movie have some ending? Imagine that little horse coming from behind and winning that race and saving the farm and everything.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, it's been a truly lovely evening, but we'd better be running along.
Oh, that's right. So I guess we'll just say good night.
Sure. Well, we'll see you around.
Well, why don't you stay with us? It's still early.
Well, the sergeant probably has plans.
Do you have any plans?
Well, as a matter of fact, I was thinking maybe we'd, go for a little ride in the park. You know, you and me. Just relax.
A ride in the park? Hey, that's a good idea. Why don't you come with us?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, sure, it'll be fun.
Would you like to go riding?
Would you like to?
It's up to you.
Well, you decide, Gomer. Anything's just fine with me.
Well, all right. We'd love to join you.
Good.
That is, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Because if you do,
I'll bring the car around.
Well, sure now.
If you are.
My, this sure is a scenic spot, Sergeant. How in the world did you ever find it?
Well, I just happened to be driving by one day. There's a beautiful little path down here that I want to show Bunny. Lots of flowers and things. Awful pretty at night.
Sounds nice. You want to see it, Luann?
No, you two stay here. It's kind of a narrow path, not room enough for 4 people. Why don't you just relax and play the radio, huh?
Okay, Sergeant.
Come on.
Really, Vince, don't you think you've been kind of obvious?
Well, I had to get away from that pest somehow.
Gomer's very sweet.
You know, this is the first time I've seen him out with a girl, and they're so cute together. Yeah, that Gomer's a real gentleman. Which is more than I can say for some people.
What do you mean by that?
Never mind.
Come on, buddy. Well, Look what we have here. It's time for togetherness, and I am your local distributor.
Can't tell which one of these knobs is the radio. That's not it.
Well, how about that one over there?
Turn off them lights! Turn off the lights! Turn them off, will you? Good night, Pyle. Good night, Luann. Nice being with you.
Well, it's been fun. See you another time.
Yeah, thanks for the ride.
Good night.
Very nice, Vince. Very nice. Chasing them off like that.
Chasing them off? Look, Bonnie, if I remember correctly, my date tonight was with you, not with Pyle.
I know, but you can't be rude to people.
Rude? Do you call it rude to want to be alone with my girl for a few minutes without being interrupted? Do you call it rude to want to kiss my girl without a spotlight hitting me like I was part of a prison break?
It was just an unfortunate accident.
Pyle is an unfortunate accident. Oh, come on, honey. The evening's half over. Let's try to enjoy what's left of it.
I just hope their feelings aren't hurt.
Will you forget about them? Now, they probably want to be alone themselves. Do you ever stop to think about that?
Well,
They probably just tagged along out of politeness, 'cause you asked them to.
maybe you're right.
I know I am. Hey, why don't we go to the J Club and grab some supper, huh? Maybe we can get in a little dancing between courses?
Okay.
Yeah, the main thing is it'll be just us. Why don't you sit down? We can dance more later. Yeah, this is more like it. Yeah, it's gonna be a good evening after all, huh?
Fresh.
Well, shall we order?
Sure, I'm soft.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Hi, you two.
Goodness, fate sure is throwing us together tonight. We didn't expect to find you here. You're having dinner, that's why we came by. See an empty table, Luann?
Listen, there's room for two more here. Why don't you join us?
Oh, well, no, thank you just the same, but we don't want to intrude.
Oh, nonsense. You said you were hungry. Come on, come on.
Well, if you're sure now.
Sure, we'd love it. Sit down.
All right by you, Luann?
If it's all right with you.
Well, it's fine by me if it's fine by you.
I don't mind. You don't mind.
Well, heck, I just want you to have a good time.
Boy, you really fixed this evening. First we had him at the movies, then we had him at the park, and now we have him here.
I had to ask them to sit down, Vince. They were hungry, and there was no other place. You can't just ignore people, Vince, especially decent, considerate people like Gomer.
Considerate? Some considerate. He's been in our hair all evening. Mr. Goody Two-Shoes.
Well, not everybody's the way you are.
What do you mean by that? Come on, what are you trying to say?
Just that you could learn something from Gomer.
Me? From him? Like what?
Well, if you don't know, then I can't tell you. The fact is, Vince, you are playing downright uncouth.
Oh, yeah? I'm as couth as he is couther. Besides, Pyle has to treat Luann delicate like that. She's a helpless feminine type.
What am I, a fullback for the Green Bay Packers?
You know, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if there wasn't wedding bells for Sergeant Carter and Miss Bunny before long.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised either.
Say, right after dinner, why don't you and me leave and leave them together by their lonesome?
Honestly, Gomer, if you're not the most thoughtful man.
Well, we don't want to stand in the way of wedding bells.
Oh, yeah?
And don't bother seeing me home. I'll call a taxi. And don't bother calling me either.
Fantastic.
Good night.
Good night.
Sergeant, what happened?
It's very simple. Big Mouth and me are washed up and good riddance.
But it can't be. I always thought there'd be wedding bells for you and Miss Bunny.
There ain't gonna be no wedding bells. There ain't gonna be no nothing. We're through. Finished. Washed up.
What could have happened?
I feel just terrible. Imagine Miss Bunny and Sergeant Carter breaking off like that. It just shakes your faith, don't it?
It makes me want to cry.
I wonder if there's anything that we can do.
Well, maybe if you talk to the sergeant, you know, man to man, he might realize the error of his ways.
Well, I could try, but he might not take very kindly to it, what with me just being a private and him a sergeant and all. But maybe if you talk to him.
Me?
Now, that might just do it. You've got such a fine way with words.
Well, if you really think it would help, all right.
And while you talk to the sergeant about Miss Bunny, I'll be talking to Miss Bunny about the sergeant.
Well, yes. We'll deal with both halves of the problem simultaneously. I'm certain they both just simply acted in haste, and a word to the wise will be sufficient.
See, you do have a fine way with words, just like I said. No doubt about it, this'll put them back together before you know it. You just see.
And that's why I asked you to meet me, Sergeant Carter, because I most sincerely feel that you have acted hastily, and I just would hate to see you make a mistake that you may well regret for the rest of your life. Why, the two of you have shared many wonderful moments together, I'm sure. Things that you could never have with someone else. And it would be a pity to let false and foolish pride keep you from her side. Don't you agree?
Did anyone ever tell you you got the whitest teeth?
Sergeant Carter's just wild about you, Miss Bunny. You're all he ever talks about. And you're lucky to have a man like Sergeant Carter, too. He's the finest Marine on the whole base, a born leader. And he's got a fine mind, and he makes a real nice appearance. Did you ever see him right after he comes out of the barber shop when he's had his hair cut? He has on that butch pomade. His hair's nice and shiny and stands straight up, just like he'd called his own head to attention. He's got a wonderful smile. All the spaces between his teeth are nice and even. Well, I don't think a girl could do any better than Sergeant Carter.
Did anyone ever tell you you have the brownest eyes?
Ellie, how'd everything go so wrong, Lou Ann?
Well, it would appear that we have been caught up in the classic symptom of the rebound.
The what?
Rebound. That's when people have a romance that comes out unhappily, and they turn all their affections on the very first person who comes along, which in this case just happens to be us.
Well, we sure got ourselves into a mess, didn't we? I don't want to go out with Miss Bunny any more than you want to go out with Sergeant Carter.
But I will.
Huh?
And you're going to go out with Bunny.
Why?
Because we've got to help them through their period of adjustment.
I've never been out with Miss Bunny. I wouldn't know how to act with her.
Don't act, Gomer. Just be yourself.
Is me okay? Yeah, that's fine, thanks. Okay. Hey, there's a great table right on the dance floor. Wonderful crowd tonight. Come on, take a load off your feet.
Sergeant, my coat.
Huh? Oh, sure, yeah, the coat. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking. There now. Everything's under control. Playing it?
Would you help me with my child, please?
The chair. I forgot. Here.
Really, Vincent?
Oh, wait a minute. You got me all wrong. I was just stretching my legs. I did a lot of marching.
Is this table all right, Miss Bunny?
Okay with me, killer. Sure is a nice crowd tonight. What's the matter?
Your coat.
Does something get on it?
No, I was just going to hit you off with it.
Huh? Oh. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Well, yeah, it certainly was nice of you, Gomer. What is it?
Nothing. I was just gonna help you into your chair.
Oh.
But if you'd like to sit over here.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure we're going to have a lovely evening, Gomer. A lovely, lovely... Well, yes, as I was saying, I'm certainly glad you asked me out tonight, Gomer.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Oh, yes, sir. It's going to be a gas.
I'm terrible sorry, Miss Bunny. I must have bumped your leg.
No, that's okay. And then Daddy said that I could come to California on one condition, that I promised to write home 3 times a week. Now, that isn't too much to ask, is it? And he said not to be afraid to come home if I ever got the teensiest, weensiest bit homesick. But I never have. Have you ever gotten homesick? This is just such a wonderful place. There's so many museums and art galleries and libraries. There's just so much to do. I never have a chance to be lonesome. Oh, do you have to?
Huh? Oh, sorry.
And then Daddy said...
why don't we dance?
Oh, all right, if you'd like.
Anything wrong?
No, I just saw an old friend.
Hey, it's Sergeant Carter and Lou Ann. What a surprise.
Yeah. Well, if it isn't Gomer and Bonnie, I never expected to see them here. Please, if you don't mind.
Huh? Oh, sure, it's fine with me. What's the matter?
Heel came loose on my shoe again.
Oh, well, maybe I can...
Gomer can fix it. He's done it before.
Huh? Oh, sure. Leave it to me. Would you stay with Miss Bunny? I'll be just a minute.
It's a nice crowd tonight.
Certainly is.
No sense in wasting all that music.
No, I suppose not.
Well, I'll be. Would you believe it? They've made up.
It sure looks like it.
And without any help from us, they did it on their own.
Well, maybe we helped a little, Gomer. Just a little.
Look, Lou Ann, I know that I brought you here tonight, but would you mind if I took Bunny home and Pyle took you?
Oh, that would be just fine with me.
Well, think nothing of it, Sergeant. Well, good night, Miss Bunny.
See you tomorrow, Pyle.
Good night, Sergeant.
Good night.
Hey, Sergeant, looks like you got a flat tire.
Huh?
Well, don't you worry. I used to change a lot of these when I worked at the fitting station back home. Can I have the keys to your trunk?
Thanks, Pyle. That's awfully nice of you.
Will you be long, Gomer?
A little while.
Well, I'm kind of worried. By the time you fix this and take me home, you'll miss the last bus back to the base.
Oh, that's all right. When you're through, Vince can drive Luann and me home, and then you boys can go back to the base together.
Honey.
At least you can do.
Forget it, Pyle. I'll take care of it myself.
Well, I wouldn't think of it, Sergeant. I wouldn't think of it at all.
Okay, but just remember one thing. When we take them home, you sit in the back, you understand? In the back.
Right! Hey!
Well, that was real sharp, men. Nice and crisp. I've seen better marches and protest parades. Lucky for you, I'm sick of looking at your faces or I cancel your weekend passes. But next Saturday, you better shape up. You read me? That's me! Pyle?
Oh, did you say something to me, Sergeant?
Didn't you hear me, Pyle? I just dismissed the platoon.
Oh, I'm sure sorry, Sergeant. I wasn't paying any attention. I was listening to the band.
Huh?
The marching band. Don't you hear them? They're still out there on the parade ground. I'll tell you one thing, Sergeant. March music always has been my weakness. I remember when we were in grade school, they used to play the National Emblem March on the phonograph, and all of us kids would join hands together and go marching off the place.
Pyle, okay, if you want to spend your weekend pass standing out here listening to bands, it's okay with me.
Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you. Just listen to those trumpets blaring. I tell you, that just covers me with goosebumps all over. Look there, Sergeant. Goosebumps. Look.
What's that?
Well, I don't know. Music.
Probably some 8-ball left his transistor radio on in the barracks. Why don't you go turn it off, Boyle? I can't concentrate. I thought you were going to turn off that radio.
Oh, it's not a radio, Sarge. It's Pyle. He's playing the ukulele.
He's what? Well, why didn't you stop him? Make him quit.
Oh, he wasn't doing any harm, Sarge. He's off duty and all alone in there. I didn't have the heart.
Well, have the heart. Have the heart. Go back there and make him stop, or we'll never get anything done around here. He didn't have the heart.
Hello? Oh, hey, Corporal. I didn't hear you come in.
Pyle, the sergeant and I are trying to catch up on some paperwork. Try and hold it down, will you?
Oh, was I disturbing you? I'm sorry, Corporal. I'll quit.
Good. Oh, by the way, Pyle, you're not bad.
Well, thank you, Corporal. It's just something I picked up back home on TV, on the educational channel.
What is that?
Beats me. Sounds like some kind of static.
Well, go check it out, will you?
Right, Sarge.
Well, what is it?
It's Pyle again.
Pyle? What did he do, open up a peanut stand?
He's got one of those sweet potatoes. You know, an ocarina.
What? Well, why didn't you take it away from him? I know. He's on his own time, he's all alone, and you didn't have the heart.
That's right.
Well, I got the heart. Just watch. Pyle!
Oh, hey, Sergeant. Golly, was I disturbing you again?
What is it, Pyle? What's with the concert this morning?
Oh, let me tell you about that, Sergeant. I sent away to Del Rio, Texas for a whole bunch of instruments, and I just got them yesterday. Cheap, too. Look here. I got myself a ukulele and a slide whistle and an ocarina and some bongos. Got the whole bunch of them for $7.95 and an autographed picture of Tex Ritter.
Is this it?
Yes, sir. Boy, didn't I get a bargain?
I'm confiscating it, Pyle. Do you understand that?
Huh?
Confiscating. And do you want to know why? Because this is a Marine base, not a conservatory of music. It's confiscated. When your enlistment in the Marine Corps is over, it will be returned to you. But till then...
It's confiscated.
Right.
Well, I sure am sorry, Sergeant. Since you're going to take all the instruments, you might as well take this autographed picture of Tex Ritter, too.
That's how much heart it takes. Now maybe we can get something done around here. Oh, Mr. Nice Guy. I suppose you would let him just go on blowing on that stupid thing, playing the ukulele, hitting them bongo drums?
That's not the point.
No? What's the point?
The point is a pal can be a knucklehead. I know that. And then one time you got to get rid of some musical instruments, and another time you got to get rid of something else that's annoying you.
Yeah, so what's the point?
Well, the point is it's not the things you want to get rid of. You want to get rid of Pyle.
What are you, some kind of psychiatrist?
You don't have to be a psychiatrist. It's simple.
Huh?
Well, face it, Sarge. You can take things away from Pyle because they bug you. But you won't be satisfied until you get rid of Pyle himself, right? Isn't that right?
You know something, boy? It's not just a matter of getting rid of Pyle. It's a matter of getting him properly placed in the Marine Corps. After all, I have his welfare at heart, and I just don't think he's properly placed here.
Yeah?
Yeah. I got an idea for Pyle, and you gave it to me.
What, exile?
It's just one chance and maybe 1,000, but it's worth a try.
Well, what are you going to do?
It's a long shot, but like I said, it's worth a try.
Sergeant Carter, Corporal Boyle, was I disturbing you again?
No, Pyle, I just want to return something to you. Here, they're unconfiscated.
But I thought I was disturbing you.
No, you weren't disturbing me as much as I thought. In fact, when I got back to the office and started talking about how much you love music, I realized that maybe I acted a little hasty. Listen, Pyle, you do like music, huh?
Sergeant, music's part of my life.
I never knew that. I started thinking about you standing out there this morning listening to that band and the look on your face. If you like music that much, who am I to deprive you?
Golly, thank you, Sergeant.
Tell me this, Pyle. Do you know anything about music? Anything at all? The way you handle that ukulele and that ocarina, you must have had some musical training.
Oh, I can read notes.
You can? You really can?
Uh-huh. You see, back home in Mayberry, I sang in the church choir for over a year, and even if I do say so myself, I pick up on instruments real easy like.
No kidding. That's very interesting, Pyle. You can read music. Now, listen, Pyle. Here's my next question. But think about it very carefully before you answer. Pyle, just suppose, you could play in the band right here on the base. Would you like that?
Me? In the band?
Uh-huh.
Golly, Sergeant, I can't imagine that in my wildest dreams.
Well, you never can tell about dreams, Pyle. Sometimes they come true. In the meantime, just play away.
But, Sergeant, won't I be disturbing you?
Oh, no. It'll be nice in the office, like having piped in music.
The bongo drums, too?
The bongo drums, anything. Just play, Pyle, play.
Gomer Pyle, who's he?
I'll tell you who he is, Gilroy. Gomer Pyle is one of the most dedicated musicians I've ever met. His whole life is wrapped up in music. Right, Boyle?
Oh, yeah, he loves music, all right.
Oh, yeah? Cool it, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. What I don't get, Carter, is if he's so wild to be in the band, why didn't he put in for it in the first place?
I knew you were going to ask me that, Gilroy, and I'll tell you why. Because he's the kind of guy that likes to do first things first.
Huh?
He wanted to make good as an infantryman. And let me tell you, he's done that. Because whatever Pyle does, he does to perfection. Because that's the kind of person he is. Right, Boyle?
Oh, yeah, he's real dedicated.
If you, like him so much, how come you're willing to lose him?
I'll tell you how come. Because he's a kid who's done a good job for me. He's worked hard, conscientious. Now he wants to move on, and I want to help him. Let me tell you something, Gilroy. You take this Pyle under your wing, work with him, be patient, and I guarantee you'll end up with a hard-working, dedicated bandsman.
All right. He sounds fine, but there's no sense in talking about it now because in another week the band goes on tour.
On tour?
Yeah, we're going to play bases all over the world. Our first stop is Iceland.
Iceland? You're going to Iceland?
That's right.
Frank, you gotta take him. Give this kid a chance. If you let a talent like this go to waste, it'll be a crime.
I don't see how...
Oh, come on, Frank. Let's face it. How many times have you had a pitch like this from a sergeant for one of his men, huh? At least talk to him. Give him a chance.
All right, bring him around. See what I can do.
Oh, thanks, Gilroy. Thanks. Believe me, you'll never regret it. Come on, boy. Let's give Pyle the good news.
Oh, Carter, this protege of yours, what instrument does he play?
Instrument? What instrument do you need?
Well, I can always use...
He'll play it. He'll play it.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. He wants to see me? You mean there's really a chance of me being in the band?
I'd say there's a good chance.
Golly, how about that? There's just one problem, though. What'll I play? I know the band don't have an ocarina section.
Oh, well, that's true, Pyle. But like I told Gilroy, a musician like you can fit in anywhere. Anyway, you said you could pick up instruments real easy.
Well, yes, Sergeant, but with all his fine musicians...
Oh, don't worry about them. All you gotta do is convince Gilroy how dedicated you are, that you'll do anything to get in the band. Beg, plead with him. Tell him you'll turn pages or shine up the horns. Tell him how good you are at shining brass.
I will, Sergeant, I will. Why, being in that band would be the most wonderful thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, it would be wonderful. Well, don't just stand there, Pyle. Get over there and talk to Gilroy. He's waiting for you.
Golly, Sergeant, I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude, I don't even know how to thank you.
Relax, Sarge. If he gets in, he gets in. There's nothing you can do about it.
But when Gilroy sees how dedicated he is, he'll find a spot for him, won't he? Don't you think, huh?
Oh, sure. And especially when he sees how anxious you are to get Pyle properly placed.
Oh, why don't you stop? The fact is, I do want to get him properly placed. And in the band, in Iceland, oh, what a proper place. What is that?
I don't know. Sounds like it's coming from the barracks.
Yeah. It's probably the plumbing again in the shower. They were supposed to fix it. Go check on it, will you?
You gotta see this for yourself, Vince.
It's not the plumbing?
There's your plumbing.
Pyle, don't tell me.
Hey, Sergeant.
You're in. You made the band?
Well, no, I'm not exactly in the band yet.
What do you mean you're not in the band yet, Pyle? What are you doing with that tuba? They don't issue those to everybody.
Well, you see, Sergeant Gilroy gave me this to practice on. He wants me to be a standby for his regular tuba player.
A standby, huh?
Uh-huh. He's going to audition me Monday, and if I do real good, there's a chance of me really being in the band.
A real chance? You think you got a real chance, Pyle?
Well, Sergeant Gilroy was really encouraging. He said I had good lung power and the right-shaped lips.
Yeah, well, I always thought that. I never knew about the lungs, but I could tell your lips were the right shape.
What happens next, Pyle?
Well, Sergeant Gilroy spent about 2 hours with me showing me how to hold the tuba and how to work the valves and everything. And after he finished, I could play it. I told you I picked up on the instruments real easy like.
No kidding.
Listen to this.
What's that?
Don't you recognize it? That's the Stars and Stripes Forever.
The Stars and Stripes Forever?
Uh-huh. You see, when I'm going...
The rest of the band's going da 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 da.
Hey, that's great, great, Pyle. Doesn't that sound good, Boyle?
Oh, yeah, there's no mistaking that. It's a tuba.
Thank you for the nice compliments, but alongside a professional tuba player, I'm just an amateur.
Oh, look, Pyle, it doesn't make any difference what you are. Just as long as you're good enough to get into the band. That's all any of us care about.
Well, with all your fine encouraging and compliments, how can I miss? All I got to do now is practice.
Yeah, Pyle, practice, practice. Let's not waste any time.
Sure I won't be disturbing you?
Oh, no, Pyle. Nothing you do from now on is going to disturb you. Just practice. Keep practicing. Who is it? Come in.
Sarge. Sergeant Carter?
Yeah, what are you guys doing up at this hour?
Listen, Sarge, don't you hear it?
Hear what?
That honking. It's Pyle, Tubby the tuba. He's playing in the latrine.
So he's playing the tuba. What do you want from me?
Well, Sarge, it's Sunday morning, our only day to sleep. I tried to talk to him. He said you wanted him to practice.
That's right. He's trying out for the band, and he needs all the practice he can get.
But does he have to start in the middle of the night? The whole barracks is up.
Well, tomorrow's his big day to audition. He wants to be ready, and he's got his heart set on it.
Sarge, that honking, it sounds like a foghorn.
A foghorn? Is that any way to talk about a musician? What, are you jealous because he's got talent and you haven't? Let's show a little consideration.
Oh, but Sarge...
Oh, come on. It's time you guys were up anyway. It'll give you a chance to air out your mattresses. Well, move. Out! All right, Ace. Training schedule for today is as follows. We'll start with a run over the obstacle course, followed by machine gun and mortar practice, with the balance of the morning spent in hand-to-hand combat. Any questions? All right. The following men are excused from duty. Pyle. Dismissed.
Sergeant Carter.
Yes, sir.
That noise coming from your barracks. What is that?
Well, sir, it's one of my men.
What's he doing?
Practicing, sir. That noise is a tuba. You see, sir, he's auditioning for the band this afternoon, and he's so anxious to make good, I thought if a few extra hours practice would make the difference.
That's very commendable, Sergeant, but that noise can be a little distracting, especially during duty hours. I suggest you find him another place to practice.
Another place?
A room with more privacy and plenty of insulation.
Yes, sir. I'm sure I'll be able to find something.
Nice going, Sarge. You really found him a great practice room. How are we going to work?
It had to be. Where else could I take him?
I don't know, but can't we at least open up the window or a door to get some air in here?
No, they'll hear him.
Well, we hear him, and it's murder.
It's temporary, just temporary. Remember, today Camp Innocent, tomorrow Iceland.
Boy, if we can last.
He needs all the practice he can get. He's got to be ready by this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's temporary, just temporary. Sergeant Carter here. Oh, yes, sir, Lieutenant. Sir? You're over in the administration building and you can still hear him? Oh, yes, sir. We'll find another place for him. Right away, sir. Where?
Sergeant Carter? Sergeant Carter? Sergeant Carter? I've been practicing all afternoon, Sergeant. I think I'm about ready.
No, Pyle, you still got an hour yet before your audition. Keep practicing, keep practicing.
Okay, but I sure hope Sergeant Gilroy likes me.
Oh, he will, Pyle. You sound great, just great.
Well, here we are.
are, Sergeant. Right on time.
Yeah. Well, don't just sit there, Boyle. Help him with his tuba. Save his breath.
That's right, Sergeant. If I'm going to be in the band, I got to do my own tuba carrying.
Now, before you go in, Pyle, is everything okay? Do you feel all right? You're not nervous?
No, Sergeant, I'm just fine, raring to go.
Good. I know how much this audition means to you. I mean, getting in the Marine band.
That's true, Sergeant. And if I make it...
No ifs. You're gonna make it. Remember, you're gonna. You gotta.
When I do make it, I'll owe it all to you because it was all your idea. I never will be able to thank you enough.
Well, don't worry about that, Pyle. I'll be thanked. Just knowing you're part of the band will be plenty of thanks.
Well, I guess I better get going.
Right. Hey, there's Sergeant Gilroy. Hi, Gilroy. We brought you tuba player.
Good.
How's he doing? Can we say he's officially in the band?
Looks good. Very good. Let's go, Pyle. We're due inside.
Right. See you later, Sergeant Carter.
Do you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
He's in, Boyle. He's in. Gilroy likes him.
It sure looks that way.
Gilroy likes him, and I love Gilroy.
Who would have believed it?
Yeah, oh. Well, come on. Let's start getting his transfer ready.
Here you are, Sarge. All finished.
Pyle's transfer. I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Just what you always wanted, huh?
Carter?
Oh, hi, Gilroy. You're just in time. Here's Pyle's shot record, his quartermaster issue, and his personnel file.
No, what's this all about?
It's his transfer. He's transferring to the band, ain't he? You want him, don't you?
Sure, I want him, Vince. Only he doesn't want us. That's what I came to tell you about.
Huh?
Yeah, at the last minute, he turned it down. Look, I don't get it. You come to me, you give me a big pitch about him, then I take him and he turns it down.
He turned it down?
Like you said, he's dedicated, all right. And the regular tuba player saw how hard Pyle was working. He thought he was going to be replaced. So then he started working, and I think he actually improved. So I shouldn't complain too much. Pyle did me some good. See you, Vince.
He turned it down. Did you hear? He turned it down.
I heard.
What happened? You try, you plan, and then everything falls apart. Why?
Sergeant Carter, guess what?
What, Pyle, what? I'd really like to know. I thought you said you wanted to join the band.
I did, Sergeant, but boy, am I lucky I found out.
Found out what, Pyle? What?
Well, you didn't know about it, Sergeant, but the band's going on world tour, leaving for Iceland. And I'd had to go with them, and that meant that we'd be separated. And you probably wouldn't have seen me for over a year. Boy, are we lucky I found out. Ain't we lucky, Sergeant? Ain't we?
Yeah, Pyle. We're lucky. Real lucky.
Well, that's that. Anything else we ought to do?
Yeah. Let's get started on supply requisitions. If we finish up in time, maybe we can take in a movie in town.
Hey, that's a good idea. We could use some relaxation.
That's for sure.
Sarge, you don't think.
Don't think, just come on. What do you think you're doing?
Oh, hey, Sergeant, Corporal Ball. Sergeant Gilroy gave me this to practice on. He wants me to be the standby drummer for whenever the band's on the bass, and I've been practicing. Guess what this is? You don't know? It's Semper Fidelis.
Semper Fidelis?
Uh-huh. You see, while I'm going, the rest of the band's going. Da, 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 da.
You're sure you don't have any plans for the weekend, Sergeant? My wife and I certainly don't want to impose on you.
Oh, no, sir. I have no plans at all. At least no important ones. I'll be glad to take care of the dog for you, sir. Absolutely.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, Sergeant. The last time we went away, we left Princey in a kennel, and do you know that poor boy didn't eat at all? I don't believe he slept either. He came home with big dark circles under his eyes.
Well, I'm sure Sergeant Carter will take good care of him.
Oh, yes, sir. You can be sure of that. You and Mrs. Gray just go up to the lake and have a nice time. And don't worry about the dog at all. He'll be in good hands.
His food is in here, Sergeant. All you have to do is feed him once a day, see he has water, and take him for a walk once in a while.
Yes, sir. I'll certainly do that.
All right, Sergeant. You can take him now. We should be home tomorrow night about 7.
Fine, sir. I'll bring him back about that time.
Oh, if you have any problems, just call us at the lake. I wrote the number on the bag.
Yes, sir.
Oh, don't worry, Sergeant. When he growls, that's just his way of saying he wants to play.
Oh, well, I'm glad you mentioned that, ma'am.
Now, take good care of him. He's such a darling animal.
Don't worry, ma'am. He'll be fine. Hey, come on, Princey. Come on. Bunny, Vince, listen, I hate to tell you this, but I just blew our whole weekend. Well, the colonel went up to Cedar Lake for 2 days, and he asked me to take care of his dog. Well, what could I say?
Hey, Sergeant. Oh, excuse me.
How can we take him with us? That's ridiculous.
Hiya, Prince. Where did you come from, boy?
We can't take him to a restaurant. We can't take him dancing. We can't take him to a movie.
You remember me? I'm Gomer. Why, sure you remember me, you son of a gun, you.
How could I get somebody else? Who would be stupid enough to give up a whole weekend just... Honey, I think I just got an idea. I'll call you back. If it works out, I'll pick you up later this afternoon. The Colonel's dog, you know?
I know, Prince.
You like him, huh, Pyle?
Oh, yeah. He's one of the nicest dogs I've ever known. What's he doing over here, Sergeant?
Oh, well, the Colonel and his wife went up to Cedar Lake for the weekend, and they're letting me take care of the dog for them while they're gone.
Well, for goodness sakes, ain't you the lucky one, though?
Hey, seeing as how you're so fond of Prince, I might let you help me take care of him part of the time.
Do you really mean it, Sergeant?
Yeah. To begin with, I'll let you take care of him this afternoon and tonight. And if it works out, I might even let you have him some tomorrow.
Gee, Sergeant, I don't know how I'll ever be able to thank you.
Forget it. Listen, why don't you take him for a little walk right now?
Oh, well, fine. We'd love that, wouldn't we, Prince? Come on, big fella. Let's go for a walk. Come on now. Sergeant Carter?
Oh, you're back, Pyle. How's it doing?
Well, to tell you the truth, Sergeant, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Pyle, don't tell me you let him get away from you.
Just as soon as we left here, a little old cat came out from behind a tree and...
But that was 3 hours ago. Why didn't you come back and tell me right away? Do you think he went back to the Colonel's house?
No, I was just over there right before I came back here, and he wasn't there.
Oh, Pyle, you... Company B, Sergeant Carter. Hello, Colonel.
I just thought I'd call, Sergeant, and see how everything was. How is everything?
Why, fine, sir, fine. Couldn't be better. No, sir.
And, how's the dog?
The dog? Prince? Oh, he's fine, too, sir. I guess.
You guess? What do you mean, you don't know?
Oh, no, sir. I mean, I believe he's fine. I mean, there's no reason he shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. Just a moment, Sergeant. I'd like you to hear something.
What's that, sir?
That, Sergeant, is the sound of a dog who's just run 23 miles.
You mean that's Prince? You mean he's up there with you? Oh, that's wonderful, sir. I mean, I'm glad to know that he's safe.
Yes, he just arrived a few minutes ago. He must have gotten away from you quite soon after we left.
Well, yes, sir, he did. But we'll be right up there to get him, Colonel. Thank you, sir. Pyle, I'm going to give you another chance for 2 reasons. 1, because every man deserves a second chance. And 2, because I got a date with Bunny.
You think you can hold on to him this time, Sergeant?
Oh, I'm sure of it, sir. I mean, a thing like that can happen once, but it certainly can't happen again.
Well, I certainly hope not. Why, when I saw the bottoms of his feet, I cried. I actually cried.
Well, all I can say is it won't happen again, ma'am.
You know, Sergeant, Actually, there's no need of you taking Prince back with you again. As long as he's here, he might as well stay. Perhaps that would be better for all concerned.
Well, if you'll excuse me for saying so, Colonel, I don't think that's right. I mean, if two Marines like Sergeant Carter and myself can't handle one little old dog, what's the Marine Corps coming to?
Well, that's a fine attitude, Pyle. All right, if you feel that strongly about it, take Prince, and I hope you have better luck with him this time.
Thank you very much, sir. And we'll certainly do our best. Come on, Prince. Come on, Pyle.
Be sure he has plenty of water. He was completely exhausted, and he's probably still terribly dry.
Yes, ma'am. We'll take care of it. Come on, Pyle. All right, Pyle. Come on, bring him in. Now, I want you to stay right here in this duty hut and keep your eye on him every second. I mean, I don't want either one of you to stick his nose outside that door. Do you understand?
Yes, sir, Sergeant. I'll watch him like a hawk. I'll even hold on to its leash, though.
Well, where's the door? Don't tell me you lost him again.
Prince?
Prince! Here, Prince! 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 Here, Prince! Prince! Here, Prince! Prince! Here, Prince! Prince! Here, Prince! Prince, here, boy! Prince! Prince! You go see it. Here, Prince! Here, Prince! Here, Prince! Here, Prince! Prince! Here, Prince! Prince! Here, Prince! Here, Prince! Prince! Princey! That's right, Pyle. I'm going to call the colonel.
What are you going to say?
I don't know. I just want to find out if that dog ran all the way up there again.
Hello.
Colonel Gray?
Yes, who's this?
Sergeant Carter. Is that you breathing like that, sir?
Yes, I just ran up from the lake.
Oh, I see.
What's the matter, Sergeant?
Oh, nothing. Just wondering if everything's okay up there.
Everything's all right here. How's everything there?
Oh, fine. You and the missus getting along all right up there? All alone?
Yes, of course we missed the dog.
I'll bet you do. The dog ain't there.
You sure everything's all right down there, Sergeant? You didn't lose the dog again, did you?
Oh, no, sir. I just called to tell you that everything's okay down here.
Well, that's very nice of you, Sergeant. Thank you. Take care of Prince and have a nice weekend. We'll see you tomorrow night.
You too. Bye, sir. Well, at least we know one thing. We know the dog ain't up there.
Well, what are we going to do now, Sergeant?
What do you mean, what are we going to do now? We've got 24 hours to find that dog. Look, fella!
Shut up, quiet now.
Look, it's a German Shepherd about this high.
German Shepherd? We have one. See over in the corner.
He sure looks an awful lot like Prince.
Yeah. When did this dog come in here?
Well, he was here when I came on duty about 15 minutes ago, so he must have come in sometime before that.
Call him, Pyle. See if he comes over to you.
All right. Here, Prince. He came, Sergeant.
So did every other mutt in the place. Say, can you bring that dog out of here for a minute?
Certainly.
Oh, Sergeant, this is Prince.
Yeah? Are you sure?
Oh, I'm positive. This is him, all right. Did you see how he came right up to me?
Yeah, I did. Are you sure it's him, Pyle?
Oh, I'm just sure as I can be, Sergeant.
Hey, that's great. Are we lucky, huh? Say, how do you go about getting this dog out of here?
Well, you have to buy a license, and that's $3.
Okay. You put the leash on him, Pyle. Come on, fella.
Hey, boy, it's sure good to have you back again. You old rascal, you. Why'd you run away anyways, huh?
Now, you're positive this is Prince, Pyle?
Well, sure I am, Sergeant. You mean you don't recognize him?
Well, yes and no. One German Shepherd looks pretty much like another to me.
Well, they sure don't to me. Dogs are different, same as humans. Some got a mean look, some sly, and some got a happy look like Prince here.
Yeah?
Oh, sure. I can tell this is him just by the expression on his face. That funny little way he laughs.
Laughs?
You know when he sticks his tongue out and tilts his head and looks at you kind of sideways?
Well, just so long as you're sure. Because I'll tell you frankly, Pyle, there's one thing that absolutely cannot happen. That's for me to take the wrong dog to the colonel. Oh, my gosh. That's probably Bunny. I forgot to call her. Company B, Sergeant Carter. Who? Oh, yeah. We did call in and report a missing dog. Yeah, but we already found him. Yeah? Well, look, maybe you better give me that name and address just to be sure. 413 East 7th Street. Okay, thanks a lot. That was the radio station. I called him before we went to the pound, told him to announce a missing dog. Well, somebody just called and claims he found a German Shepherd that fits our description exactly and answers to the name of Prince.
Well, ain't that funny?
I don't think it's funny, Pyle. What if this guy's really got Prince?
But I'm almost positive that this is Prince.
What? Almost? Pyle, I can't bring the colonel a dog that's almost Prince. Now, is he or isn't he?
Well, he is. Well, I'm sure he is. It's just that, well, when he stands like that, I've never seen him quite hold his tail like that.
But a minute ago, you said... Oh, all right. We may as well get over and see this other dog.
I guess we'd better.
Well, come on. And this time, we're gonna lock the door so that Prince, or whoever he is, can't get out. Come on. Kind of crummy.
Well, if Prince really is here, Sergeant, how'd he get way over in this part of town?
Well, he ran all the way to Cedar Lake, didn't he? What is this? That was 4, there's 5, here's 7, and that's 9. Where's 6?
Oh, this is 6, Sergeant. It's just upside down.
Huh?
This is 6.
Oh. Well, good. Not Pyle. We came about the dog you found.
What dog?
Prince.
Wait a minute. What do you mean, what dog? You called the radio station and said you found a dog.
Found a lot of dogs.
Well, this was a German Shepherd.
German Shepherd, huh? Wait a second.
This is a kind of funny setup, you know, Pyle?
You mean him being lucky enough to find so many of them lost dogs?
Yeah.
Is this him?
What? Oh, my goodness, Sergeant. This is him. This really is Prince. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Prince. Hey, big fella. Boy, my goodness, it's good to see you.
You mean this really is Prince, Pyle?
Oh, yes, Sergeant. I'm sure of it this time. This is certainly Prince, and no mistake.
Your dog, huh?
Well, yeah, I guess it is. Thanks, mister. We really appreciate you finding him. Come on, Pyle. Take the dog and let's go.
Wait a minute. Where's the reward?
Reward? We didn't advertise no reward.
You gotta be kidding. There's always a reward on dogs, especially a nice one like this. I figure the reward on this one is, $15.
$15?
Yeah, that's cheap. You know, finding dogs is a lot of trouble. I mean, my time's gotta be worth something, ain't it? Same as anybody else's.
Pyle, are you absolutely positive that this dog is Prince?
Oh, I'm absolutely sure, Sergeant. This certainly is Prince. Ain't you, Prince?
Well, I guess there's nothing else I can do. 5, 10, 15.
You're lucky that one of my associates didn't find your dog. It'll cost you $25. Yeah, and hey, I'm throwing in that piece of rope for nothing. Shut up.
Okay, Pyle, which one? Which one is it?
Well, I don't know, Sergeant. Now I'm all mixed up. They both look like Prince, and they both act like Prince.
Are you trying to tell me that we got 2 dogs that are Prince? that ran away as one dog and came back twins?
No, Sergeant. It's just that they both look so much alike, it's impossible to tell them apart.
Well, tell me this. One of them dogs is definitely the right dog. One of them is definitely Prince, right, Pyle?
Oh, sure, Sergeant. At least one of them is.
But which one? In less than 24 hours, the colonel will be back home and want to see his dog. I can't bring him 2 dogs, or even one that ain't his.
I've got an idea.
Yeah?
Why don't I go out back about 20 yards and you hold the door open and then I'll yell Prince and we'll see which one comes.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. That might just work. I'll hold the 2 dogs in here till you get outside and yell.
Right, Sergeant. Here I go.
Okay, fellas. Now, easy now. Easy. Around this way, fellas. Easy.
17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, Sergeant, I'm gonna yell now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Pyle. Yell for the dog.
Here, Prince.
Well, they both ran out. 3 dogs? Where did this other one come from?
I don't know, Sergeant. He just came up behind me when I yelled Prince. Well, for goodness sakes.
Could this other dog be Prince?
Well, I don't know which one it was that even came up behind me. They all look so much alike.
That's funny. Very funny. Now we got 3 princes. That's a riot.
Are you all right, Sergeant?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. If you're wondering why I'm laughing, I have to. Because Marine sergeants don't cry.
Sergeant, they must be home. The station wagon's in the driveway.
Yeah. The only question is, what do we do now?
Well, it seems to me the only thing to do is to tell the colonel the truth. I'm sure he'll be nice about it.
Well, I'm sure he'll be nice about it. I can just hear him giving me a nice hello every morning. Hello there, Private Carter.
You can do that, Sergeant. After all, we have got Prince. The only trouble is we've got 2 extras. But the colonel can settle that in just a minute.
No, wait a second, Pyle. Maybe I got a slim chance of getting out of this whole thing if you'll help me, will you?
Of course, Sergeant. What you want me to do?
All right, now listen. You go up to the door and ring the bell. When the colonel comes to the door, you tell him you're delivering the dog to him. You understand?
Well, yes, Sergeant, but where are you going to be?
I'll be right here behind these bushes with the 3 dogs. You see, when they hear the colonel's voice, whichever one is Prince will run to him. You get it?
Yeah, I see.
And that way, we'll be home free. I can sneak off with the other 2 dogs, and the colonel will never know the difference.
It might just work, Sergeant.
It's gotta work. We can't go marching up there with 3 dogs. We'll look like boobs. Now, give me that dog. Now, go on up to the door. I'll be behind the bushes. Go on, go on. Go.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, Private Pyle.
Oh, did you have a nice weekend, sir?
Yes, it was very nice.
Oh. I just wanted to be sure that you was home. Would you like to have your dog now?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, I would.
Well, he's right back over here, sir. If you wouldn't mind calling him.
All right. Here, Prince. Here, Prince.
Yes, where did all these dogs come from?
What?
Good evening, Colonel.
Oh, Sergeant Carter.
I guess you wonder what all these dogs are doing here, sir. Well, I can explain that, sir. Well, the fact is, sir, this is what happened. Prince here got away from us again, and rather than bother you with it, Private Pyle and I went out looking for him, and, well, as you can see, we came up with 3 dogs. Of course, one of them is Prince, right, Pyle?
Oh, yes, sir. One of them is definitely Prince.
I see.
Our only problem is, sir, we don't know which one. We're terribly sorry about this, sir. But if you would just please pick out your dog, then we'll take care of the other 2. And please accept our apologies.
All right.
Who's that?
This is Prince. He showed up at the lake about 10 minutes after you called the last time. I tried to call you back, but there was no answer.
We must have been out looking at the time, sir.
It's just as well I didn't reach you. After losing him again, you deserve to stew a little. It's amazing. You can handle a whole platoon with the greatest of ease, but taking care of one dog seems to confuse you completely. Good night, Sergeant.
Well, Mr. Dog Expert, what have you got to say now? You made me look like a fool in front of the colonel. You're a knucklehead, Pyle, a knucklehead. When are you going to learn to do things right? When?
He didn't mean that, fellers. He didn't mean that at all.
How do you figure this guy will buy the dogs off us, Pyle?
Well, he sells dogs, so it only stands to reason he buys them, too.
Yeah? Well, you do all the talking. And I hope you're right, because I'm out $15 with this guy.
All right, Sergeant. Hello there, sir. You remember us? We was the ones that got the German Shepherd.
Yeah. What's up?
Well, we've got 3 more now, and we was just wondering if you might be interested in having them.
Well, I might take them off your hands for $5 apiece.
5 apiece, 15 for all 3.
That's right.
It's a deal. Give him the dogs, Pyle. Okay, let's have the $15.
Oh, you got it all wrong, fella. I said I'd take them off your hands. I don't pay you. You pay me.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah? You know what these dogs eat? 2 pounds of dog food a day. And I don't even know when I'm going to get rid of them. Right, if you want them back, you take them.
Well, no, we can't take them back. Where would we keep them, Sergeant?
Okay. This whole thing has been a disaster. This just makes it complete. Here's your dough.
Thanks. Hey, you guys wouldn't be interested in any other pets, would you? Like maybe a cute monkey or a polly parrot? Or goldfish, maybe?
No, nothing. Just forget it.
Okay. Come on, get in here. Shut up!
You know what your problem is, Pyle? You got a thing with animals. You pick them up wherever you go. They come to you like you was a magnet. What is it with you?
I don't know, Sergeant. Sure not my fault.
Well, I wish you would quit it, because it always means trouble. The minute you get near an animal, you're in deep trouble.
Well, I'm sorry, Sergeant. I'll try and watch it from now on.